Is it doing it?
I don't know.
Doing it and doing it and doing it. Wow.
Maybe.
All right, hold on. Shit's happening. Oh, damn. I just got us demonetized. Fuck.
Oh, no. We're not supposed to curse in the first like 30 seconds.
I know. Son of a ball sack. It's all right, though. It's okay.
We tore this nutters.
All right, guys. We got to stop the stream and start over again. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Come back tomorrow. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Monetization. Trust me, monetization. Like, I think the last Tech Talk made
like $7.
It was like $7 or $12. I think it was $12.
See, that just goes to show, man. You guys help us more than YouTube does.
Yeah, the I keep saying bits. The super chats on here actually are the primary source of our revenue.
Right.
Like the ad stuff is garbage. Like, don't get me wrong. Like if you post a video, like an edited video, YouTube treats it completely differently.
Oh yeah,
like an edited video, if you get 100,000 views, that could be anywhere from like $300 to $1,000 in ad revenue, depending on your CPM. But for some reason, with live streams. No.
Yeah. I wish they would. I wish both Facebook and YouTube would split off the live streaming stuff to a separate like landing page or whatever. It needs to be it doesn't have to be like a completely separate product, right? Like you don't have to call it something different. You don't have to like have a different name, but there needs to be a different entry point. Like I don't even know where to go to watch Facebook live streaming. I don't even know.
The only place I know how to watch it is on my TV in my bedroom. It has a Facebook TV app. So you click on that and it looks like kind of like YouTube a little bit. It looks kind of a rip off of YouTube. But I don't know how to do it through the website.
Man, it should just be, YouTubegaming.com or even youtube.com/gaming or something like that. Like I don't know, YouTubelive.com would be perfect.
Yeah,
something like that.
They put the effort into competing, but they don't follow through.
And I don't know, it just would make that way you have a whole like front page that is nothing but land, and it could still be connected, right? It could still be connected. You go to somebody's live page and there's like a tabs like, or even on the sidebar or something, how their videos or whatever. And I think it's diluting their potential by having it so integrated, at least for YouTube, so integrated with their pre-recorded content. And as far as Facebook goes, man, they just need to pump that shit up. They need to like promote their live streaming more. I don't understand why it is not a bigger product for Facebook.
Isn't Facebook like still considered the largest social media platform on the planet?
I think so, yeah.
Like whether we like it or not, it's like they have the most active users, I think.
I do believe, yeah.
Okay. So based on that, with that reach that he has, regardless of how shitty the press is for the company and how much shit they get catch, because they deserve it. I mean, Facebook is a fucking rotting piece of shit. But anyways,
right.
They are
kind
we're going to talk about that.
Falling apart a little bit, actually. Yeah. They're not doing too well.
It really is. And but the thing is, with that kind of a following, if they really put in the effort to compete with like Twitch and YouTube for live streaming, and they really made it super accessible, super discoverable, and like pushed out heavily to their users, dude, people would like run there and instead like undercut everybody by like 10%.
Yeah.
Like get instead of doing like a 70-30, do like a 80-20.
Man, and with Facebook's like, Facebook is like probably barely number 2 when it comes to like targeted advertisement. Google obviously being probably the first. And I know Google at least dominates as far as ad spend goes.
I even think Facebook might even use some AdSense, like on the back end a little bit.
They might. I wouldn't be surprised.
Because I go to sites where there's AdSense and I'll see an ad and I'll go to Facebook and I'll get the same exact ad. And I'm like, there's got to be some crosstalk going on there in the background, because I don't think these two separate AI mechanisms are going to come to the same conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, they could come to the same conclusion, but I found
they could just crush it with okay, everybody hates ads, right? Everybody hates the pre-rolls on Twitch or whatever.
But it's like porn. Like, everybody says they hate it, but it still is like the number one source of revenue on the planet.
Yeah, you take it, and it's fine. But man, Facebook, like, I don't know about you guys, but at Instagram at least, I don't do a lot on Facebook, but which is the same. It's the same ad. Buying like on the back end, whether you're buying ads for Facebook or Instagram, it's the same like service. It's the same system, and they're great. It's fucking fantastic. I love Instagram targeted advertisement. It's freaking awesome. It's only shit that I actually am interested in. I've never in probably a couple of years, I haven't seen an ad that I was like, why am I even seeing this? This doesn't make any sense. I can
it's
see
not like
the
Twitch
ad
where you get the same ad 3 times for Colgate or something. Yeah, it's weird.
Drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
Facebook Facebook could have outstanding pre-roll ads, people stuff that would be relevant to every single person, every viewer that comes into your stream would get an ad that actually makes sense to them, and the click-through rate would be outrageous, would be super cool. You would, and heck, could you imagine even if I got to pick like topics at least for my stream, or I mean either way you want to do it. It's called retargeting. Yeah, no, that's part of it. Retargeting is part of it.
A lot of people don't know you can do that with AdSense. Nobody does it though because it's so freaking hard to do. You have to go to
Facebook makes it easy. The pixel thing is super easy.
If you're on YouTube, like if you have a YouTube channel and you want to just run like very specific ads, like, well, you don't get to like pick exactly the company, but let's say specific categories.
Right.
Like let's say you do video games and you only want video game ads. That's all you want. You can actually go to the AdSense dashboard, which isn't on YouTube. You have to go to Google and then go to the AdSense dashboard on google.com. And then in the AdSense dashboard, you log into your AdSense, you link it to your YouTube. It's already linked to your YouTube channel if you're already making money with AdSense. But you go into that, and then through that dashboard, you can basically go through and say what ad categories you want and what ad categories you want to ban. So you can actually go through there and say, I specifically don't want any political ads and stuff. But the thing is, it's so hard and so unintuitive that I don't even do it.
Right.
You know, but you could technically do that. And the cool thing about that is the more targeted, and I'm assuming this, but it would make sense. The more targeted that your ads are on your channel, the more likely you're going to get the bid for the ad.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is, you know, YouTube only has so many ads together. That's why you don't always see an ad on every video. Sometimes you'll click on a video that's supposed to have an ad, there's no ad there. And it's because they have to pay per view, and companies only give so much budget to show their ads. So it doesn't always, you're not guaranteed to have an ad because the money's not guaranteed to be there. However, when they're picking where that ad should run, it's trying to make its best guess of like where it's going to get the best click through and the best dollar for the customer so they can charge them more. Right.
And there's different.
Yeah,
you know, there's different, and there's also different way. Like, if I'm buying ads, right?
Yeah.
I have an ad and I'm paying to have that shown. There's different, what do they call it? Objectives, right? Like, so I can have them target people that they think are going to click on it, or I can have them target people who are just going to watch the whole thing, or you know, there's different. Like I said, objectives. Right? Yeah, this is Facebook.
Yeah, I saw
I imagine Google's too,
say,
but like you said, it's really complicated.
They don't do that on Google. On Google, it's like you have to go through all the categories, subcategories. But no, I've seen that on Facebook because I remember years ago. I haven't used it recently, but years and years ago, Facebook was like, "Oh, here, have a free $100 of advertisement or whatever." And so I went in and I just punched through it, and it was like I could not believe how granular the stuff was. It was like shocking. I want to pick a demographic like 18 to 24 that lives on the West Coast that has an affinity for video games and movies, preferably FPS shooters and simulations. Like you can drill down.
Yeah,
and you can even click a button too. Yeah, there's a button that's like what is it like? Show ads to people that don't normally see ads of that type, like basically like your anti-demographic. So if you're trying to pull in new organic viewership from like people that wouldn't normally find you, you can basically say, I specifically only want my ad shown to like people that would never find me otherwise. Yeah,
who don't already follow me or that kind of stuff.
So you might get less of a click through because of interest, but you're also going to reach people that would never know you existed otherwise that could come and find you. So it's like
that's it. That's part of manipulated. That's part of the objectives, right? Like you can show it to new people only. Yeah. People or who haven't seen your stuff in a long time. You can who are more likely to watch the whole thing, the more likely to click on the thing, even so far as to say not just click through, but also like purchase. Like these people are probably half primed to already buy from you. It's neat. And this guy, where'd it go? Richard Calabi said there was a way you could actually target a single person on Facebook. Yeah, that was before the Cambridge Analytica stuff. You could actually get that. It wasn't set up where you could like punch in their name and target them that way, but there was such a high fidelity detail for like
you could narrow it down, like I want them on this street, this house number, like
practically within like it was like geographical area, age, and a lot of that's still there. It's just they've removed a lot of the detail part of it. And Stephen Colbert actually just recently did something really interesting around that sort of thing. He bought some Facebook ads, targeted them to a particular. Oh man, there's a bunny right out front in my front yard. That's sick. Little bunny bunk.
Dude, I've been seeing them everywhere.
Sorry, I got a little distracted.
No, I've been seeing them everywhere here too. I don't know what the hell's going on.
geo targeted it to, I think, just Washington D.C. and then and it was like a bunch of ads for, I can't remember exactly what it was, but you can see like location data from where somebody clicked on your ad. You can see like within a certain fidelity, like it's not within 3 feet or anything, but like you can see where someone was when they clicked on your ad within your geo-targeted area. And I guess like 3 of the clicks came from within the Congress building, whatever it is, whatever they call the building that's got Congress and where they meet. So like
the
he's
Capitol
got
building
info. Yeah, I think that's it. So the guy, he's like, Stephen Colbert's got like suspects that at least 3 like actual senators were clicking on these like kind of sketchy ads. It was interesting. And he's like, oh, I'm holding this information hostage and stuff. Is interesting.
The thing is like is interesting as that sounds, like from a technical feat, like the fact that they can create a system that's that focused. Think about all the bad stuff you could do with that.
Oh yeah,
like if you were a bad actor, let's say you're Indian
like
tech support
swing an election.
Exactly. We're gonna talk about that when we get to the Elon buy-in Twitter topic. But no, it's like, think about it. If you were a scammer, right? And you were like, well, the people that we get the best success with is like elderly people over this certain age that live in like Florida or Arkansas or Kentucky, or you have some. I just randomly select those out of my head. I'm not like specifically targeting those, but I'm just saying you could put that information in there and then say, okay, I'm going to put $100 into it, and then your odds of getting a fear-mongering like FOMO ad in front of somebody that's going to react to it is way, way higher. Like, even if it just starts the conversation, like, you don't even have to do the scam as the ad. You could just be like, oh, hey, free $1,000, reach out to me, on Instagram at blah, blah, blah. And that could be your ad. Yeah. And then the elderly person's like, oh, I need $1,000. Oh, yeah, get me through school.
Yeah.
That's
I know
scary.
I've said this before, but I'm surprised that I don't see more ads for Twitch streams. I don't know why I'm not seeing.
I don't think I've ever seen
Twitch streamers or just streamers in general buying like Instagram ads and stuff. I don't. Why? Why would you not?
I've seen. Why would you not? Yeah,
sure.
Why?
But like, it blows my mind that like you're gonna put all this effort into making clips and stuff, and you're making these cool YouTube videos. You're sharing this stuff on on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all this stuff, but. And maybe it's just me. Maybe me. I'm not being targeted. But dude, like $400 of ad spend a quarter or something. Like, I don't know. It just, I'm like, man, am I missing something? Is somebody else? Why is this not happening? Why am I not seeing more ads for Twitch streamers?
You did what do they call that? Like a spice reel or whatever?
Yeah,
where you
sizzle
take, like,
reel.
your best sizzle reel. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Take a sizzle reel with all your best stuff from like your Twitch streams and just put that into like a little 15-second ad and disseminate that. You probably see a huge spike in your subscribership because people are going to be like, oh, wow, man, I want to see more of that.
Yeah. Especially again, with the targeting that is available. Like,
why isn't that happening? Especially when there's free, like every content creator gets like that thing on Facebook that's like, oh, have $100 in free advertising. And then Google, oh, have $100 in free AdSense, and Facebook, have $100. So it's like, if you just use those and just cap them out to promote your stream, that probably would give you some kind of a return.
I think so. I feel like it.
I know there was a point that there was a time, I don't think it's as big of a problem now, but I know there was a time on Facebook where like you were just throwing your money away because there was like all these like Malaysian and Somalian like click bots that were just absorbing ads. Like they literally created them just to absorb ads. Yeah. And so people were like looking through their analytics and like, oh man, my click-through rate is like 0.01% or something like that when it should be like 3 to 4. And so, but I don't think that's a big deal anymore. I think they've probably fixed that.
Yeah. But man, I wonder.
Retro My Bit said that shit don't work. Have you tried it?
I
because
feel
I'd
like
love
it
to hear
would.
your guys'
I feel
story.
like
If
it
you
would.
guys, especially for a smaller channel, that's the thing too. Like if you're already
Oh, the free code thing, the for the free credits or whatever. I
oh, it
think is
kept
what he's
saying your
talking
code
about.
was invalid. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, because I've done it. Like I spent the $100. The only thing you got to be careful for, and this is where they get you. And I had this happen on Google. Is they're like have $100 in free advertisement, and then you go create the campaign. Unless you explicitly go in the campaign and push the button that says cap at that $100,
Right.
it'll actually go over and they make you verify payment information to get the $100 free. So if you
Mhm.
don't find and click that button, you essentially are just like paying out of pocket for however many
Yeah.
ads they can send out.
Yeah.
Sorry for
And
the little hiccup there, guys. It looks like I
oh,
dropped like 429 frames. It's just intermittent. My internet connection's been kind of garbage lately. I think I got to call them and have them come out and check the lines because there's just intermittent noise on the line.
yeah,
Probably something I did. I think we're good now. I think we're stable now.
Sure.
Let's see.
Got
Oh,
Twitter
the
ads, set up the campaign run, burn through my budget in a day. Yeah, that'll
well,
happen.
you will go through that budget fast. Ads are expensive. Like
Yeah.
if people are like, why would they pay a YouTuber like $5,000 or $10,000 for 100,000 views? Go to AdSense
it's a
for
lot.
100,000 views on AdSense that are targeted. You're
Dude.
looking at way more than $5,000.
Yeah, it's cool though. I mean, Facebook's actually, I don't know. I've spent, what was it? I think $6. I think once to promote something I was selling on Facebook, and it definitely boosted the eyeballs. So when you boost like something you're selling on the marketplace, it's a little different. It does put it into the feed as like an ad, as it would be with everywhere, any other ad, but you don't get quite the fidelity. It's I think it's like purely targeting for views, like to get people to just click on the thing and see it, which is okay, because it certainly did. It definitely made a huge difference. I was like, I'd get a couple hundred maybe people look at it, and then I dropped to $6, and like I think I got maybe 1,600 views from there, and it was pretty cool. But I was like, I don't think it was targeting locally. Like I think I did only have it set like you could have to come and get it, right? A local pickup only for the sale. I'm not shipping anything. And so I feel like a lot of those people were probably seeing it that couldn't buy locally.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Facebook is okay, but I don't use it that much.
Right.
I
mean,
really
it comes
don't.
back. Yeah.
And the thing that like, and I know that's like, there's a lot of people that are the other way around. That are like, I hate Twitter. I love Facebook. It's a very divisive thing, but I've always liked Twitter because of just the layout, how clean it is. It's kind of like, Craigslist versus MySpace. It's like, it's just very to the point. It's very chronological. Whereas Facebook will really manipulate like what shows up in your feed and what doesn't show up in your feed. Not to say Twitter doesn't do that, but they do it far less. And the ads are way less invasive on Twitter than they are on Facebook. Like you just scroll through and it'll just say promoted under it. Whereas on Facebook, it'll make, your friends like this and retweeted it. And your friends like, and they just random. That's another thing. How does Facebook not get sued for that? They literally go look at an ad, go to Facebook and scroll through and look at an ad, and it'll be like, oh, your friend this and your friend this and your friend this all like this ad. And then you message them and they're like, no, we never clicked like on that. We never even saw it.
Yeah.
Like it always said that because I caught him doing that. And then I have a friend who works at Facebook, Saba. He was my old manager at Microsoft for a while, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look into that or whatever. And he messaged me back, and he's like, oh, it uses analytic data to determine like what they would like and what their preferences are. And it's like, but that's not. You're misleading. Just because they might like the category the ads in doesn't mean they liked it. And so there's ads that are obvious scams. They're like, oh, buy an inflatable 747 aircraft from India for 99 cents plus shipping and handling or whatever. And it's like, oh, your friend this and this liked it. And I'm like, I know for a fact they would not like something like this. So I message them and send them a screenshot, and they're like, yeah, I didn't do that. And then they send me a screenshot back that's like, oh, Jerry liked this and Jerry liked that. And it's like, I never click like on any ads ever. So I'm like, this is super duper manipulative because it plays on that mentality as a human. You want to be a part of the group, right? So it's like, if your friends like it, you're like, oh, well, if they like it, I like it. And so that's hugely manipulative. And I don't know how they don't get sued for that. Because they're basically representing, because it looks the same. It looks the exact same as if they actually clicked like on it. Like here, I'm kind of curious. Let me pull up Facebook. I'm just going to scroll like the 3 posts it takes to get an ad. Let's see here. Where's the game ad? Those are usually the ones where it's like Raid Shadow Legends. And I'm like, there's no freaking way my friends would like that. Oh, here we go. Okay. So Lumina sponsored. Okay. So it says, Yeah, it was liked by one of my friends. Just one this time. Usually it's more than one. But yeah, a friend of mine liked this. There's like no freaking way they clicked like on that. Like I guarantee you they didn't. And then like scrolling through, let me see if I can find, because sometimes it'll be like 3, 4, 5 people. I know. Oh, here's another one. Snapmaker. Okay. So Snapmaker, again, I look at the likes. Oh, yep, another one, just one, but another one of my friends clicked like on it, and it's a friend who's not even involved in 3D printing. So it's weird that they do this. Like you just hover over the likes and you're like, oh, here's these people that I follow. It doesn't look like it's doing as bad as it was though last time I checked. Yeah. But last time I checked, it was seriously just like randomly picking 5 people, and it was always people I interacted with recently. It wasn't like friends from like 3 years ago. So because they figured that if they liked it and it was somebody I was interacting with regularly, that it'd be more relevant to me.
Sure.
It's just, oh my God, it's manipulative. Hey, I am me. Thank you for, whoa.
Hey.
Dude, 500 sexes. That's $50.86.
Damn,
dude,
thank
awesome.
you very much. Holy cow. Holy cow.
Yeah, pull around back.
That's intense.
In the alley, and we're gonna take care of you, brother.
Yeah, man.
He said, who are these two imposters of Barn and Ox? He said, oh wait, never mind. Have some sexes. Hey. How are you two fun gentlemen?
Pretty good.
I mean, actually,
I think it should be fine.
It's okay though, but I like food. It's
okay,
fun gentlemen. Sign. I've actually been feeling a lot better these last couple of days, dude.
Good.
Like I have been like laid up in bed, just destroyed for months and months and months. And doctor tweaked my meds and gave me 2 incredibly painful and expensive shots into my SI joints, into my lower back. And it took like 2 weeks, but they finally kind of started doing their thing. So I went out and washed my car after not like washing it for like a year. And granted, it took me like 5 hours and 2 days, but you know, I did get through it and I did actually wash it. And so, and then I went and saw a friend. I went and hung out with Graham and played Flight Sim for like 5 hours at his house. And I was like, and I haven't left the house or gone anywhere in such a long time. And so I was like, but I mean, I hurt like hell. I feel like super duper bruised because my muscles are so atrophied. Yeah. But I'm like actually up and moving. I couldn't do that before. My back was so bad that my legs would just buckle and give out. Dang. Because like, have you ever gotten like really bad sciatic pain where it like shocks you? That's what I have all the time. Jeez. And so these shots actually finally helped with that. That now the only pain that I'm really experiencing is more fatigue of the muscles of my lower back from just being atrophied. Yeah. But I was like, dude, I did that and today after the stream, I'm hoping to go outside and open up the car and do some cleaning on the inside of it. Because it sat so long, it like smells like mold on the inside. You can even see like where some cloudy stuff is forming on the plastic. Whoa. like the beginnings of mold. And I literally found moss growing like under the wing. I mean, it was so bad. I've never let that car ever get that bad because I love that car. But it was just, I went out and did that. And I was like, you know what? The next day I was like, man, I'm going to be crippled because I barely made it in the house. Like I had to get my wife's help to get to the bedroom. Jeez. Second day, I woke up. I was like, oh my God, I'm moving. I hurt, but I'm moving. So I went out and did some more. And then I felt a little bit better. Easy, but it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, usually I push too much and I hurt myself. But here I am, on day 4 after I went to Graham's the first day, cleaned the car, second day, cleaned the car, the third day. And now I'm up here doing this. And did my stream yesterday. I'm like, dude, this is good. This is a good sign. This is making me feel like life might be like attainable again. Because I've been really downplaying like how bad I've been. like most days I don't get out of bed, like period. Like I might get up to use the bathroom. I might shower once every 3 days when I used to take like 3 showers a day. It was bad. It was really, really bad. But now it's like, now that I feel like, oh, we finally did something that works. Because I've gotten the shots on my back before and they don't work. Like I've had them because they can miss, right? It's like if they miss, you don't get another shot. You have to wait 3 months. And this time he did both sides. First time we ever did both sides at the same time. And usually I don't because they're just so expensive. But this time I'm already laid up. I'm out, down and out. I'm like, we're gonna fail if I don't do something. So let's just, see what happens. And he nailed both shots. Like he was super, like my doctor was super proud of himself. He did like a little Super Bowl dance. And he's like, dude, it doesn't get any better than that. He's like, I hit both of them. And I was like, hell yeah. And it took like 2 weeks, but no, it definitely made a huge difference. So I'm like, oh, thank goodness I can move. I can do stuff again. Awesome. So you probably tell I'm actually a little happier than I usually am too. Like there's definitely, I feel like I'm a little more upbeat. People said on my stream the other day that I seemed like I was a little bit more upbeat. It's because I was just exhausted and just beat to death, guys. Like, but now I feel like, ooh, wait a second. Okay, so I'm finally positively changed. I'm kind of digging this. So I'm going to just keep moving in that direction, doing a little bit more every day. But you're right. I have to not overdo it to the point where I cripple myself. Yeah, man. Just enjoy the where you're at and kind of, I think. Hell yeah. Cool. In that hot tub that your brother helped install.
Oh,
in the back
nice.
of my house. That thing has been a miracle, dude. Like
Nice.
anytime I feel like I'm just gonna like die, I just throw myself over the side of that thing and soak in there for like an hour and a half, and I get out and I'm like, ooh, okay, this feels better. So it's a combination of everything, but I am way happier than I was, if you guys haven't noticed. I don't know why I felt compelled to tell that story, but I felt like I needed to tell that story because a lot of people have been wondering like what the hell's wrong with me because I've just been so fucking negative for a long time. Hell,
Yeah.
you've even responded to some of my negative tweets like, dude, get your mind in a better place. Dude, I was just tired and defeated and just like in a stupor. So it's like now that I feel like I'm getting a little bit better sleep, the sleep is still a problem, but I'm getting a little bit better sleep. I'm moving around, which is helping with circulation in my arms. I was having bad circulation problem in my hands. That's getting better. But I'm like, ooh, okay, good. I think I finally squeezed through that crack just enough, ladies, I'm not saying I'm on the home stretch. I mean, it could all go away in a second when when those shots wear off, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like that there is something that can be done that can improve my quality of life. And that's what I needed to know, because before that, everything I tried just either made things worse or did nothing. It gave me like false hope. So now I'm like, ooh, okay, we kind of got like the right little formula figured out here. Maybe this will like yield some benefits. So we'll see. Stay tuned. Retro My Bit said happy for you, bro. Well, thank you, sir. Man. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, permanent sciatica sucks, dude. Like Lex said, I can't imagine how horrible sciatica must be. It's like it feels like you have a rope tied to your spine going down your leg, tied to your foot. And like and every time you extend your leg, like all the way, it literally feels like there's a string in there tugging. And when you walk, it even makes like a clicky like feeling. Like you feel the click, like it's rubbing against a bone. And since I got the shots, that's actually gone away too. Like I always clicked when I walked, and now I'm not clicking when I walk. So I think that's helping to not agitate that nerve as bad. Cool. But now it's just a matter of getting the muscle back, because obviously not using that muscle for a long time, my lower back muscles are like non-existent now. And so it's like you get up and walk around, it's like you get to the point where it's like you just want to fall over like a tree. It's like the muscles like do not want to hold you. So now I just gotta, and then that's just gonna be time. That'll help with time. But I gotta figure out something to pay for these shots, dude, because they are so ridiculously expensive, even with insurance. It's like $700 every 2.5 months out of pocket. That's like that's not the insurance portion. Jeez. Dude. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. And then insurance costs almost as much as my house payment a month for my family. Damn. So it's like, oh man, we gotta do something about that. We really do. But you know what? Hey, we should. What is this? Spikearound said, "Trust Elon. He is one of us." Injected of the USA because we felt sorry for NASA. Let's talk about Elon. Let's talk about Elon. So, like, what are your thoughts? Like, what are your thoughts on Elon just as a human being? Like you personally, like not even as accomplishments, not what he's done or claimed he's done or anything. Just like as a person, seeing how he interacts with people. Like, what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts about the dude?
He strikes me as a modern day Howard Hughes.
That's actually a pretty good assessment, actually.
Yeah,
like,
and I mean, like toward the end of Howard Hughes's. Well, I mean, it seems a very similar path. Like, and I get the feeling that Elon's like approaching the Twilight Howard Hughes, where like,
and a little unhinged and a little crazier.
Little, yeah. And it's I don't know, man. People like to try to think that like, oh, he's like doing this to stick it to the man or whatever, and it's like, man, he is the man. Like he's part of that. Like talking about I mean, all of the weird tweets and stuff that he does is all for making money. Like it's market manipulation 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
But at the same time, like the system isn't set up to like properly punish him for it and whatever. I mean, that's a whole nother thing.
No, but that's
brilliant.
It's
brilliant. Like he's got the right. I mean, he's clearly brilliant. Tesla. I don't know what's going on with Tesla lately, but because it seems to be kind of going in a bad direction in a general sense there, which is super weird. I don't know why it's like quality's down. Weird. I've been hearing all kinds of weird stories of like. Heck, even just recently, our buddy Kevlar Conham had his Tesla in a shop for like extra couple weeks or something because of something or another. And I don't know, It's like,
dude, that thing is always breaking. Now,
quality
granted, it's a
quality
test platform.
problems.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. No, even like new ones. Like, you're seeing like panel fitment isn't quite right, and like,
oh, my neighbor's car,
weird.
He's only owned it for 2 years, and he's already had Tesla come out like 5 times and had to leave it in the shop twice and get a loaner. It's like normal cars don't. That's
really
like lemon
strange.
law shit. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of strange hearing these like bad quality stories and stuff. And then you see like that Tesla X crashing into a private plane and stuff.
Somebody Cirrus jet
which,
or whatever.
Man,
or,
it's a combination of things, right? Like, so from what I understand, like, you have to hold the button down and it comes to you as long as you're holding the button. So like,
no, but even holding the button, it's supposed to stop if it detects anything that's going to collide with a human or anything. Even if you're pushing the button, it's supposed to stop. And
so that says something about how far up the thing can see. The thing's probably looking really low and just didn't it's looking under the plane, right? And then just crash, something like that. I don't know. It's
still, it was low enough for it to collide with it. So obviously there was something in front of the car,
right?
Like with its cameras, it should have been able to stereoscopically say, "Oh, there is something." It doesn't care if it's a landing gear or whatever, but there is something in front of the car that we're about to collide with.
Yeah,
and at least like slow down and like creep into it or something. But no, it's just bam, move the whole plane over like 10 feet.
Yeah, it's cool that SpaceX is doing what they're doing. I'm a big fan there.
I love SpaceX.
The privatization of space flight is the right thing. And I know that it has these weird feelings of dystopia and whatnot. You know, he's talked about basically indentured servitude for colonists to Mars. You know, you can get a loan and then work it off when you're on Mars and stuff. Like, that's literally indentured servitude.
Let me ask you a question. So let me ask you a couple questions, because there's something you said earlier that kind of resonated a little bit with, like, you know, stuff I've been looking into Elon lately.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to have a consensus that he's a genius. Like, by definition, he's a genius. What makes you think he's a genius? Like, is it the way he talks? Is it because the companies he heads, like, one of them is successful out of like every 10 he tries? Like, what is it that makes him a genius to you?
That's a good question.
The shit he says is not like, I mean, 90% of what he says makes no fucking sense when you do the math.
I think he's brilliant in the same sense as like Bezos, right? He's clearly, despite some of the failures in business.
Sure. Well, everybody has business failures. They've
been tremendous. I mean, most of what he's done has been really successful, from what I understand. And yeah, he is probably smart. You know, in
I have
the
no
classic
doubt he's intelligent,
book way.
Genius. I'm talking genius, though.
Honestly, it's the ability to achieve these great things and to get people to believe in it too.
That's it.
That I think is really the best part, is that he's charismatic enough and he's a little weird. Like, I imagine he's probably a bit autistic on the spectrum or something. You know, I mean, so is Bill Gates and a bunch of other brilliant engineering type tech folk, but he just takes action on his ideas, successor. Yeah, I think that's the thing, is the self-confidence, the push to, I have this idea, I believe in it to 100%, and I'm willing to go as far as I possibly can to prove that I'm right. Yeah.
Does he though? See, this is the thing, is like, I hear this from everybody, and I even felt it the same way myself. But then I started looking into like the Boring Company, Neuralink, Hyperloop. I started looking into all these ventures and go back and watching his videos where he's like, yeah, and if you think about it, like, you know, the vacuum chamber, cars will travel through 600 miles an hour, and we're going to go ahead and develop this idea. We're going to hand it off, and you know, and Virgin is going to take it, and they're going to make like a full scale, you know, loop, and it's going to be operational by like 2020, and we're going to be doing 600 miles an hour. And he continuously says that over and over, and he gets all the press around the world, and they're like, oh my God, he solved all transportation problems. Whoa. Fast forward to 2022, and he has a single tunnel that cost him more than if he paid the competition to dig that tunnel. They would have been cheaper. They would have done it in way less time. And he only has one car going in one direction through a twisty tunnel that still has to have a human drive, because autopilot can't even negotiate the tunnel that he built that only has cars in front and behind. And I'm
So
like, but everybody still counts that as a success. And it's like, oh my God, he solved traffic and he solved the future. And everything.
that's
Same thing with the car. He promises everything like autopilot. You have to
right.
focus more driving with autopilot than without.
Right, man. Okay, so when it comes to the autopilot thing, I'm actually a little disappointed in what seems I don't know, whatever it is that they're using for the full self-driving thing. Right, I've got this new Hyundai Ioniq 5. Right, I put the cruise control on. It's got the front radar. I can choose how far away to stay from the guy ahead of me, like 1, 2, or 3 car lengths.
Yep.
It's also got like active lane assist. Like I can not touch the steering wheel and the thing it'll steer around a curve. It'll keep me in the lane. I don't have to touch the pedals. I don't have to touch the steering wheel. It'll complain.
Yep.
It'll complain after a little while that like, hey, please keep your hands on the steering wheel. But to me, that's autopilot. Like it's not going to take an exit for me. But if I'm on the freeway, I barely have to do anything to drive to get somewhere. Like
Yep.
And so I don't know what the deal is with Tesla's, full self-driving thing. Like I don't understand what the problem is, why you'd have to pay extra. All the bits and pieces are there and it works just fine in my Hyundai EV. So what's the problem here?
Yeah, and I feel like what he does is I feel like this strategy that makes him, more successful than other people is that he has that confidence promising something like he's already achieved it, knowing that he can't even do it, knowing that it's not even possible for 10 years. He just lies and says, oh, it'll be next year. Then it'll be the next year. He gathers another round of funding. Then he uses another project to hype that project. Like, oh, now we're building tunnels and batteries and end to end and solar roofs. And like none of the shit does what he said it would. None of it.
Right. And so that you run into the same kind of issue that like, when you put a video game programmer in front of the media and you talk about how cool everything's going to be, the whole right. What was that big gaffe a few years ago?
Cyberpunk.
Partly Cyberpunk, but no, I was thinking more the spaceship one.
Yeah.
It turned out okay,
No
like
Man's
over the
Sky.
couple years. Yeah, No Man's Sky, right?
Yeah, it was total garbage, and then it was amazing.
That's why you don't put engineers in front of the media. Same deal, right? Like Elon's a bit of an engineer. He's not a marketing guy. So he's going to talk big, make these big promises and stuff. But like, they don't punish him as much because he's a billionaire. He's the richest man on the planet. So he gets a pass. And yeah, somebody mentioned here that he's an exceptional marketing, made a lot of money from online banking. He created PayPal.
His fortune is the predecessor to PayPal. Yeah, he sold it and then it became PayPal.
Yeah, and so it's like so he's already pretty brilliant, and there might be a fuzzy definition of what you might want to call a genius, but like it takes a certain amount of brilliance. Somebody had mentioned, where is it here? Janet Diaz here says, BS, he's not no Guinness genius. If you surround yourself and hire smart people, then you can accomplish anything. It still takes a smart, brilliant person to know your limits, to know where you are weak in your own ability, and to find not just smart people who can do the things that you cannot, but to the right people at the right time. That it still takes a certain level of intelligence and brilliance and experience to find the right people to surround yourself with. If he just surrounded himself with a bunch of other people who said they could do these things and then couldn't, then it would fall apart. So he's clearly able, if not himself personally, he's found people who can find the right people to make these things.
It's hard to build a team. It's hard to build a team that's compatible, that works well together, that like achieves the goal. Like that, I'll totally give him credit for. But the thing that I don't understand with like the public, like, is you see people fawn, and I used to too, so I understand the position. People fawn over him and think that he's like this amazing, like rocket scientist, super engineer that can solve all the world's problems. But if you go back and actually look at the history, he just literally promises shit that doesn't even make sense. And then every once in a while something sticks, but he's good at raising funding. That's a skill.
Yeah.
And let me give you an example. So like Tesla, everybody's like, oh my God, he created Tesla. No, he didn't.
No, he bought Tesla. It was a thing that existed before, and he bought it. But the having bought it, like,
no, it's more than that.
Probably completely altered their trajectory. If he hadn't have stepped in, where do you think Tesla would be?
They already failed. They failed under him. Here's the thing that people don't understand. Here's what happened. Watch. Elon comes in. They name him as the CEO because he didn't own the company. They named him as the CEO because they weren't getting they're shitty. If you saw the first Tesla, it's garbage. Like before it took the Lotus body, the original one. Yeah. It looked like a fucking like Le Mans car built in your garage. And so he came in. He was the CEO. He pushed the Roadster release. He overpromised, underdelivered, didn't do the research on the motors. The brushed motors burned out instantly. The gearbox broke. None of them are on the road hardly anymore. The batteries were, and he knew this, and he pushed it. He spent the investors' money. It failed. The company went under. It lost all of its funding. It was kaput. He went out and basically used his Elon charm to be like, oh, investors, I envision the Model S. And it's like, unlike the Roadster, it's going to change everything and revolutionize the world. Like the same pitch he gave for the Roadster, he did again, and they bought a second time. That's what happened. Now, granted, he was able to do that, but I'm saying his skill is in the fundraising. He already failed. Yeah. Like he didn't just come in and everything he came in and Tesla was successful. No, he came in and sunk the fucking company in the ground with a shitty car.
I remember some of that where it
almost ruined everything. I know somebody that
falling apart really bad, and like I think didn't they
SpaceX
move?
Is the same story. If they didn't have the funding from Tesla, if SpaceX hadn't had the funding from Tesla, they wouldn't have got that final flight on the Falcon 9, and it would not have been successful. They would have had to go under. I
remember seeing something that if they hadn't gotten that fat contract from NASA, SpaceX was going to go under.
There's like 2 or 3 times it's almost sunk because
I mean, it's kind of a weird balancing act, right? Though I mean, I don't know.
But the thing is, you only the way Elon is so good at engineering his public perception, because he doesn't advertise on TV, he advertises on social media, so he tries to have a much more personal stance than everybody else, which is incredible. I'll give him the personal brilliance branding all day long on that. So, and the other thing is, it's like he basically has like people are like, oh man, he's so rich because he's successful. No, it's all paper money. That's not his liquid wealth. That's money.
The Twitter thing?
Yeah.
The Twitter thing? Yeah.
Not just Twitter, but I'm talking like Tesla, SpaceX, all of his shares in those companies are all paper wealth. It's not liquid.
That's right. That's something people always end up like talking about, shitting on Bezos and stuff. Like there is a difference between net worth and like liquid asset. Huge. The thing is though, rich folk, like, okay, yeah, it's all paper, whatever. He can still leverage all of that for liquid asset. Like that's how they do that, man. Bezos has no income, right? Because it's all loans, it's all credit cards and shit that's being backed by his stock holdings. That's how the rich folk do it.
Well, even the Twitter purchase, right? The Twitter purchase is only 20 billion in his paper money and 30 billion borrowed.
I was like more than half of that is coming from Goldman Sachs and some other venture capital company or something. They're pointing up some bank came in with 25 billion, and then some third party, some other company come in with 13 billion to help bump it up. He can sell his stocks for cash, but they won't, because then your capital gains.
You can't sell the stock for cash.
You can, I suppose, but
no. But here's the thing: he owns
Twitter stock,
so much.
Maybe not.
He owns so much. If he sold it all, he would tank the market before he sold even 10% of it.
Oh yeah. So people would freak out if he started, especially if he started selling. That would
people
cause
think
other
that
people
he
to
can
sell.
Just go to the stock market like you and just sell the stock. No, he can't. And again, I'm not saying that he's not wealthy. He's wealthy as crap. Like even paper money. If he liquefied all of his assets today, he'd probably be worth somewhere like 30 to 50 billion, which is still insane. Like that's still like more money than you could spend in your lifetime if you were trying. But the thing is the imaginary wealth, the 250 billion estimate, is all based on things he's manipulated.
Sure.
It all is like if you go and look at like Twitter and how his tweets correspond with the Tesla stock price, the stock price of Coca-Cola,
stepped in and
McDonald's,
gave him
everything.
His Twitter sitter. He's not supposed to talk about Tesla on Twitter anymore because of it. He got it was like a slap on the wrist, some fine or whatever. It was probably like $300,000 or something. The SEC's
it was actually 20 million, but still he made
whatever.
Plus million.
Yeah, it's a wet noodle, man. It doesn't matter. We've talked about this too. Punishments like that shit need to be a percentage of your overall of your 100%. Net worth. Period. Not a hard limit. Like there's the rules in some of this stuff. It's like a hard limit. Like we literally legally cannot punish you more than 250 million or whatever. But when you're worth $100 billion, that's like, oh, I'm going to give you $200 out of my millions. Like the percentage of that is nothing. And so it's I don't know. It's weird. But that's a whole wealth thing and blah, 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 blah. But I forgot where we were going. But
No, it's okay.
I mean, so come back around. I'm curious to see what happens with Twitter.
I'm worried because
it'll be very interesting
if he takes it private, which he said he's going to. It's a condition of the deal.
Sure.
And again, it hasn't gone through yet, right? They accepted his offer, but
it won't be until later this year.
It's not going to happen
they
for a
have
little
to
while.
Fuss around with the paperwork.
I already see people tweeting like Elon's changing the platform. No, he isn't. Nothing's changing for a while. As long as it's public, he can't because the SEC still has oversight.
Yeah, they still got to make sure it's okay. And
but if he buys the company, if he buys Twitter, this is the thing I don't like. Okay, so here I'm gonna walk you through why I think this is a bad idea that Elon's buying Twitter.
Sure.
The reason I think it's a bad idea is buying Twitter is because he's lied every step of the way. When he acquired the $9 billion in stock, he didn't report it. He's like, well, I'll just take the fee because it doesn't matter
or whatever.
And the reason that he did that is because if he reported it, then he wouldn't have got it for the price that he got it.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't have been able to acquire the whole $9 billion. He was expecting to buy a lot more because if Twitter didn't take his offer, he was going to just hostile take over and buy the stock from the investors.
Okay.
And so he lied about that. And he's like, whatever, it's a penalty. It's like $300,000 penalty, whatever. It's pittance, right? So he does that. And then he says, listen, I have no interest in having control of Twitter or being on the board. That's what he said the day after he reported.
I remember that. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to be on the board.
Thank goodness. It's just an investment. And so the next day they come out, literally the next day they come out and say, oh, Elon, welcome to the board of directors. They don't just invite you to the board, like you know before they announce it publicly. So Elon had already accepted it. Unfortunately, Elon realized that if he joins the board, he can't own more than 14% of the company.
Right, the poison pill thing.
The poison pill. No, that's before the poison pill. He just owned $9 billion in stock, and he's like, okay, now I'm going to be on the board of directors but he said he didn't want to be on the board. So when they invited him, they're like, oh, welcome to the board. Everybody's like, what the hell? Elon said he didn't want to be on the board. And so then Elon's like, okay, I'm going to be on the board, but then I'm not going to be on the board because I can't own more than 14%. I guess that was news to him because he didn't do his research. And he's like, okay, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to make an offer for the whole company. Even though he said he had no interest in governing Twitter, he had no interest in changing Twitter. He said all this publicly. There's tweets for all of it. He then extends an offer to the company. When they don't take it and they try to poison pill him, he then defames the board on Twitter, creates a huge upset after he just made the stock go up a little. Now the stock's starting to come down. He offers a little bit more and they accept his offer because he leans heavy into them. And it actually does make financial sense in that situation because the investors make out big. I think they get a 30% premium on their stock, which is insane, right?
That's great. So I wish I had owned some beforehand.
Oh, me too, dude. Like totally.
Yeah.
But the thing is now he's buying the company, and then every tweet is like, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to change this, and open source the algorithm. I don't necessarily disagree with any of that stuff, but I think he's lying about all of it. I genuinely have no reason to believe him because everything that he's promised every step of the way, he's lied about blatantly, and there is like a trail. But people just let him off the hook. And they're like, oh, that's just Elon being Elon. Oh, that's just him being him. But here's the thing. People don't realize by him owning Twitter, by taking it private, which again, that was another thing he said he wouldn't do. And then it's a condition of the deal now because he sweetened it a little bit. Right. Like that wasn't a part of the original deal. That was the revised deal. Like, I'll give you a couple more billion. Well, it's like similar. Let me take it private.
It's like similar to how he came out and was like, oh, I'm thinking about taking Tesla private at 420. You know, I have funding secured. You know, it's a little bit like that.
It's exactly like that. And here's the thing. Once he takes it private, so I went and looked it up because I really didn't know. Like, I was like, okay, what's the significance of taking a company private? It means that he has little, if any, SEC oversight. It means he has no board of directors. And it means that he can literally change the platform. If he wants to change it to a picture of a cat or laughing, farting cat or whatever, he can literally do that. Like, he can't be stopped. He owns the company at that point. He can do whatever he wants with it if it's a private company. But here's the thing that concerns me with being a private company is now he has no oversight. He has no board to hold him back. He can literally, if he wants to, make his tweets show up in anybody's feed. Like every single person on the platform, he could have it showed up as just in your feed by default. He could add a feature that has like, Elon's thought of the day that pops up every time you log in. And now not only does he have 89 million people he can instantly influence, and we've all seen how that works out with other politicians and stuff of power where they can command a huge, large group of people in a very small amount of time to do really horrible things. Yeah. And if you think about it, he's already done the Wall Street bets, right? He's manipulated tons and tons of stuff. He's manipulated Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge. He manipulated the Tesla stock, SpaceX. He also manipulated Coca-Cola, the other day, just to be brazen. If you wonder why he's like, I'm going to buy Coca-Cola and put the cocaine back into it. The reason he did that is because the SEC doesn't allow him to talk about Tesla stock publicly anymore. So he's like, I'm going to pick another company that's in a good position that I can manipulate, that's at a price that's easy to manipulate, and I'm going to do this. And sure enough, it bumped. And then he did it for McDonald's too. it bumped. It wasn't as big of one, but the market, what do they call it? The trading volume went way up just from his tweets, right? So the thing that concerns me about he owning Twitter is now he can actually reach a larger audience. He can suppress his detractors if he chooses to. Now, people are like, he's not going to do that, but he's already lied about everything else. He lied about the deal. He lied about his involvement in Twitter. He lied about his stock holdings. He lied about his intentions. I mean, literally hasn't said anything true. So when he's like, oh, I'm going to get rid of the bots or die trying, is that like the same thing where you said you were going to donate $8 billion if they could give you a plan to solve world hunger, and they gave you a plan to solve world hunger and you didn't give a shit, or when you were going to give bricks to build homeless shelters and it was like all over everything. They sold them for they sold the bricks for $200 a piece.
Were they people, Supreme bricks?
Yeah, the Supreme bricks, and they never gave a single one. Not a single one of those bricks was used in the construction but they got all the press. Elon is really good at getting free global press.
Right.
And now he's got Twitter, so he can go on Twitter and literally say anything he wants. Like there's no media to even censor him now. Like he can go and just tweet grandiose things like, I'm going to put the cocaine back in Coca-Cola and literally move the needle on a stock.
Yeah.
So if he wants to, and I don't know because I don't know his stock portfolio, but my guess is before he made that tweet, him or his friends had a substantial holding in Coca-Cola.
Oh, I bet.
Because if he's going to test that theory and he knows it's going to work. But here's the thing he can do with Twitter now. He takes it private, right? He already did this with Tesla. I think he's going to repeat it because he wants to shit in the SEC's Cheerios. Yeah. I think he's going to do the same thing with Twitter. He's going to take it private, and then he's going to be like, oh, we're doing this, and Twitter's going to blow up, and oh my God, we're going to IPO, and I bet you our stock's going to be worth like $69,699 a share. And he's going to go public with it, and it's going to skyrocket, just like he's done with Tesla, just like he's done with SpaceX. He's going to end up having like Twitter stock be so overvalued that it's going to be like $2,000 a share for Twitter stock. Be like, oh my God, you saved Twitter and everything. But like everybody's going to hold. He's going to tell everybody, like, don't sell, just like with the crypto scammers, don't sell. And then what he'll do is he'll just hang on to that because that paper wealth to him is more important than having the actual money. Yeah. Same thing he's doing with Doge. The perception of being the richest man alive or whatever gives him a lot of credit or not credit, but gives him a lot of clout in the world to be like, that guy must be a genius because he's so rich. Just like Bill Gates. Everybody's like, oh, Bill Gates is the biggest genius on planet Earth. It's like Bill Gates is a college dropout that didn't even program DOS, didn't program Windows, hired the people that did, right? I mean, he's not what everybody thinks he is. He wasn't sitting there, Bill Gates, like writing all the software himself. He wasn't. Right. It's like Steve Jobs. Everybody's like, oh my God, that guy's so brilliant. It's like, no, Wozniak was the one that built the damn thing and programmed it. Steve Jobs was the coordinator. He was the
combo, right? Like,
I'm not saying he's not valuable. I'm just saying that people thinking that he's a genius. Like I talk to people, they're like, oh man, he created the rocket that landed on its ass. He created the modern electric car. He didn't do any of that shit.
He facilitated the creation of this stuff. And that, I mean, there is something to be said about that, to create, like, it's people, and like, oh, man, it's weird. Because like, I feel like this is a perfect example of how important personal branding is for companies. When you don't, people have moved away really from trusting companies, and they put their faith and trust into people.
I've noticed that too.
And there's a concept, and it kind of surrounds Apple in this way, that people don't buy like what you do, they buy why you do it. And like Apple, I think, is a perfect example, or was a perfect example of this. I feel like since Jobs has died, they have lost their way in a big way. Jobs was a very strict, kind of an asshole, but demanded the best of his people, right? Like he made a distinction between telling people that you are shit versus your work is shit, and there's a difference there. But some people only hear, you are shit when their work is being criticized. They take it personally, and I feel like that's part of the whole personal branding thing. People are evangelical behind Elon because they believe in they believe him when he says why he's doing things. Right. I'm building SpaceX because I want to get human beings onto Mars. I'm drilling a weird giant hole in the middle of Vegas because I want people to be able to move from place to place faster. All this stuff. the whys behind it are what people are like super behind, and it doesn't necessarily like work out, but it's the people, it's the person that people are behind, and they're behind him because of the intent that he's putting out there.
I think that's fair. But it basically boils down to he tells people what they want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
that's what it comes down to. Is like his successes. He tells people what they want to hear, and because of his very public successes, like the things he's associated with, he can pretty much default on everything else and still lean back on those and be like, "Oh, but I'm the guy that did this," so it's
right.
like all's forgiven.
Yeah,
like, you know, if Boring Company, and then he can move assets around. So it's like, even if Boring Company's losing its ass, which it has been from day one and still is, he can fortify that with the other ones. And if it's losing too much momentum, he can just go online and be like, tweet like, "Oh, Boring Company, it'd be cool if the stock was 69.69 or 690. He can always, like, he has all these mechanisms to artificially recover stuff that other people don't have. And that's a little freaky, man. That's a little freaky that he has that much power and that much influence, and people genuinely do believe, like, that don't really look into him. They take him at face value and they're like, this dude is like an absolute freaking genius. But we're talking about the guy that literally tweets that like tunnels can't flood and they're not affected by natural
that was fucking
disasters.
weird. And then all of those pictures of the New York subway, like,
and
flooding from
and like the 9 out of 10 comments underneath it are like, "Oh my god, dude, you're so smart." Like, and did you see the other tweet? He's like, "Oh, the full scale Hyperloop. We're gonna bring the full scale Hyperloop online next year." Well, how can he? They haven't even, the quarter-mile tube is rusted over and doesn't even hold a vacuum anymore. Like,
I don't understand tunnels.
He just says it and shit goes up.
It's so, to me, that's super weird. It's really tough to build tunnels. Like, it takes a long time.
A lot of unknowns.
Digging sucks. Nobody likes digging. It's bad. It's bad. You know, I mean, outside of a few success stories like the Seattle tunnel turned out early and all that stuff, like that was super freaking cool. But like, it doesn't, there's already proven technology for moving many people very quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we aren't just building bullet trains. Like, it works. They're all over the freaking place, and they work, and it's fast.
But Elon,
we don't need tunnels for it.
That nobody else will, because he has no problem lying to you. Like, he knows it's not possible, and he doesn't care because he's so many times just straight up lied, even about Tesla, even about like where's Cybertruck? Like, I know it's getting close, but where's Cybertruck? Yeah. It's going to be way over budget. Starlink has already been like increased by $100. You have to pay a monthly fee to use autopilot, when he's like, "Oh, your car's going to have the equipment with autopilot, so in 4 years you'll be able to just have autopilot." And it's like, no, now you need a $10,000 or a $20,000 upgrade, and you have to pay a monthly fee for it. Like, he promises you something up front, so it seems like he's doing something that's impossible for every other company. But by the time it gets delivered, if it ever does get delivered, there's already a million competitors that are positioned better. But because he's already lied to everybody and got them involved and their deposits down, and they're already doubling down on him, it's like, even if the competitor has something that's better than his offering at the time that he claimed it was supposed to be available way back when, he still is somehow successful because he can ride that clout wave.
Yep.
You know, that's the thing. That's what I think Elon, and I think over the years, Elon, I have no doubt Elon, when he started SpaceX, was a brilliant engineer that really had some crazy ideas and everything. But I feel like now most of his time isn't spent, like, everybody thinks Elon's like in a room. It's like, "Oh, I solved the problem for rocket boosters," and I don't think he does any of that shit. Other people do that. I think he just sits on social media all day. I think he's going and screwing all the Hollywood starlets, you know, in Southern California, and having himself a good old time. And he loves the attention from doing the interviews and making grandiose promises and being Iron Man, right? He loves that persona. But I don't think he's actually doing any of the work anymore. Like, like when he was involved with SpaceX, the Falcon 9, like early on when he was doing the engineering, the Falcon 9 only succeeded because he got another round of funding, because Elon is really good at getting funding. That's his thing. He's a funny. They failed all their attempts. Like, they only had the one left because of additional funding that he raised or moved over from SpaceX.
If it means that you can put
Tesla.
if it means that they can put brilliant people into the right places to do brilliant things, then so be it. And I totally agree that, like, maybe we shouldn't be giving the guy as much like hype and praise and zealotry as they are, but like, it's working, you know. We're moving further ahead than than we would have been otherwise. You know,
He
what
just
was
feels a
NASA
lot
doing?
like Elizabeth
It was
Holmes from Theranos. It feels
a
very
little bit,
Theranos-y and like it's going to kind
a
of end
little
in the
bit.
Theranos-y.
But I mean, yeah, I feel like maybe similar, but man, that shit just literally didn't work. Like that was fake news from
Well,
the
no, the
start.
technology that they
Like,
offered didn't work, but the testing was still legit. They were actually
right,
doing the testing and giving back results, but it wasn't based on the small blood sample they were claiming.
right.
So it was smoke and mirrors, just like when you have Elon and he's like, oh man, we got a car that can, that only costs $25,000 and can go 600 miles and it's gonna have full autopilot and you'll never have to drive and we'll be in underground tunnels and everything
Hey,
like that. It's like, yeah,
man,
he delivered a tunnel. It's not what he promised. He delivered a car. It's not what he promised.
How hard do you think it'd be to like legit? And this is something I asked Kevlar Condom, but how hard do you think it'd be to spin up a car company? Because like, how come there was this was years and years ago. There was a Chinese company who was putting out cars, or had said that they were going to be putting out cars that would cost like around $8,000, but it was like they were super basic. There was like no electric windows, most of the power options like weren't there. But like, why not? Like, why not? I don't know about you, but I wouldn't mind a more basic vehicle, that was cheap, 10 grand or less. And like, I don't mind rolling down a window. Or make it modular, a little bit more modular. Like, okay, maybe it doesn't even come with a radio. You got to fucking plug your phone. It's just a cable and you plug your phone into it. And then the whole thing is just that, or, I don't know. It seems weird. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. It just is.
So I just saw a tweet. Here where somebody's like, come on, Elon's a douchebag, but a con man? No, overly optimistic to an absurd level. Sure. Con man implies intent to defraud. I don't think he's doing that. SpaceX is real. Tesla is real. Nobody bought a Model S and got delivered a 74 Pinto. But here's the thing. They did. They absolutely fucking did. Because here's the thing, you say, first of all, let me address these each one at a time. So, and again, this is longtime follower. This is Borg Dad, topical text goes here. Let me answer each one of these like specifically. So overly optimistic to an absurd level. Fair enough. I will say that he is, that's his persona, is like overly optimistic, but he doesn't present as optimistic. He presents as super confident that something's going to work that does not work on paper. Like he knows it doesn't work. Like there's no way that an engineer of any level could not do the napkin math to realize that is not possible. What he's promising is not, at least with what he has today, what he is promising is not possible today. Yet he puts that confidence forward that he is. So, and he also, by him manipulating the stock on Twitter and him saying these like weird fucking unhinged things that like move stuff in different directions, that's not optimistic. He knows exactly what those tweets are doing and he's doing it with intent. He even has a history of how it works and he continues to do it, meaning that he knows what the end result is and he continues to do it. So no, he is absolutely has an intent to defraud. He cares about the money and he cares about the wealth. Now, SpaceX, I do believe he cares about. Like, I genuinely think SpaceX is his baby.
Yeah,
Tesla is a money pit for him to be able to do SpaceX. And the other thing is he claims that he's all about the climate, right? Here's another thing. Let me be honest here. People that buy that, just no, because here's the thing. Elon got invested into mining crypto Bitcoin, right? Yeah. And it was only when people called out, hey, but those Bitcoin mines are operated with fossil fuels. And he's like, okay, well, I'm not going to mine Bitcoin. He's still buying it. He's still trading it. He's still enabling the Bitcoin network. But he's like, okay, I'm not going to mine it myself anymore. And we're not going to take it at Tesla. Like, we're not going to accept the Bitcoin at Tesla anymore. But he's still heavily invested in Bitcoin. He's still promoting it. He's still pushing it. He's still moving the needle. So it doesn't matter if he's taking it at Tesla or not. Bitcoin is still successful and he's enabling a lot of that success, right? But he's like, oh, I'm not going to do that. How the fuck does Elon Musk, claiming to be a cryptocurrency genius, not know that he uses fucking electricity to mine the crypto? Yeah. How does he not? And where that electricity comes from? He claims he creates batteries and fucking solar panels and stuff. Does he really not understand where the bulk of electricity comes from? Did he really think everybody was just mining off of solar panels? Of course not. He knew, but he acts because he got called out so much publicly and it was affecting his image. He's like, oh, now that I know that, I'm going to step away. The Elon, good guy, Elon, thank you so much. Oh my God, he fucking knew. It was only when he was called out, he acted like he didn't know. Like, oh, we thought it was a good idea to take that, but he's still heavily invested in Doge. The infinitely mined coin that has no end in sight.
Yeah.
And he's still pumping shitloads of those coins back and forth between his thousands of wallets and stuff, which is using a lot of power to verify those transactions that's coming from fossil fuels. But you don't hear anything about that because he doesn't publicly state those are his wallets. But a simple search of the blockchain, you can clearly see that the wallet that Elon has advertised before for Dogecoin is interacting with these thousands and thousands of other wallets in a basis that no human could do. Like they're going so fast back and forth. It's obviously bots, artificially pumping up the currency and holding it and stabilizing it.
Yeah.
So because his end game is, of course, to manipulate Doge and be the first trillionaire. Because if he can get Doge to stay stable through all the turbulence of the other cryptocurrencies, then that will become the digital fiat of choice. Then he flips a switch and everything through Twitter, everything through SpaceX, everything's paid for with Doge. And then he changes the network. He finally gets that change on the network where there's a finite amount of coins. And then just like Bitcoin, they start ratcheting it up. Boom.
Yep.
So don't sell Doge. If you have Doge, hang on to it forever because Elon is going to eventually reduce the number of coins created and move to a proof of stake. And it's gonna be hugely profitable for him and everybody else that holds their Doge. As long as like 50,000 whales don't sell at the same time, which I don't think they will. But yeah, that's what I don't get is why people think that he's like so good intention, like, oh, he's just super optimistic and he doesn't mean any harm. It's like, dude, he's worth $250 billion when most of his ventures have failed. The vast majority of them have.
Yeah.
Granted, he's had some big winners, but both of those winners also should have failed. They only didn't because he basically promised a bunch of shit to investors. And the only reason he delivered to those investors is because he basically told everybody a bunch of lies about what he was doing. And everybody propped up the value of the stock to reflect what he claimed they were going to do, even though they haven't done it yet. And they still haven't done it. And they've completely missed all their deadlines. And so it's like, okay, so let's look. SpaceX is probably the closest one that is delivered because SpaceX, it's like you do have a Falcon 9. They are putting stuff into orbit pretty cheap. We are getting people to the International Space Station. I'd say SpaceX, amazing success. But also remember that SpaceX brought in a lot of talent over from NASA too, right? So
sure.
So it's like it's the private version of NASA. Really good move. Way more efficient with money and everything like that compared to NASA. But NASA is like the biggest bleeding beast in the history of man for spending money, only surpassed by the U.S. government themselves.
I mean, I guess
they have to because you can't have people dying in space like that. Right. That really screws you over on the funding. So they have to overly fund it. Like what costs NASA $1 billion to build, SpaceX can do it for like 250 million or even less, like 50 million probably for on the billion. And so they and they do assume a lot more risk too, right? I mean, Tesla. That's one thing I will say is that Elon Musk, he does roll those dice like a son of a bitch. Like that dude, he is definitely a gambling man. But now he's to the level of wealth where it like doesn't matter. He can gamble and lose all day, every day, and it's not going to make a difference really. But I just feel like the shit that he did with Tesla, it's like he doesn't care about the fucking climate. He doesn't care about the climate. What caring about the climate is the sell cars.
Right.
That's what it is. Because it's like, I make an electric car. So the best way to position myself is to say that I'm trying to save the world. I'm trying to save the environment. Those cars still have heavily ass polluting lithium batteries with a very short lifespan that are incredibly hard to recycle. Yeah. Those cars, most of them are throwaways. Every Tesla that's on the road that's like 10 years old, the vast majority of them are in wrecking yards now. Yeah. Because the batteries like cost more than the car is worth to replace. And so it's like, but none of that ever gets talked about. That's all like taboo. The average Elon fan doesn't know about. They're like, oh, but man, he built this and he built this and he built this. But it's like, did you put down a deposit on something and waited like 2 years? And then he basically just refunds you the deposit, but doesn't refund you the interest that he got on that money for 2 years. He basically got everybody to hand him and invest like billions of dollars to invest and to manipulate a market so he could make billions of more dollars off of it. And then just said, oh, if you want your money back because I'm jacking up the price, you can have it back, but I'm not going to give you the interest. Yeah. And like that, like I said, with the bricks, the thing with promising, I'm going to start. Okay, fine. I'll call your bluff. I'll give you $8 billion if you guys can give me a plan on how you'll use that to solve world hunger. And they come forward with a plan, a comprehensive plan. It's like, here's how we'll use your $8 billion to solve world hunger, so that the people in the worst situations are affected. And he just basically acts like it never happened because he already got the press and never gives up the money. And because he controls the narrative with his fan, no single organization is able to get the word out more than he can. So he can always get ahead of it. And he always be like, oh, or he can just ignore it, right? He can just tell people, oh, ignore it. That's just a slam piece. That doesn't, that's not real. But all of the press that he gets, which is directly proportionate to how successful his businesses are, because if he wasn't on every TV and every magazine is like, oh, the real life Tony Stark that can, make quantum entanglement transportation possible tomorrow, and the Neuralink's going to allow you to not be obese anymore and run a triathlon. And he's have you seen Neuralink? I love Neuralink. I love the idea of Neuralink. I hope one day that. Here's the problem with Neuralink, though. He already claimed it's supposed to be in a human trial. It's not in a human. He claims he has a machine that can install the chip, but as far as I know, the fucking thing's never been used. It's like, it's still conceptual, right? They've never actually had a run where this thing is installing a chip into a human being. He claims that it's going to like solve obesity and be bi-directional transit. All it can do right now is like move a fucking ping pong paddle or record your neural inputs when you read a word and play them back, just like that little $300 puck you can buy for the back of your VR headset, or any of those weird little brain scammer things that can read alpha waves. So it's like but he bills it as like, oh man, we're all going to be cyborgs and shit because it's on the inside instead of the outside. But the thing is he doesn't ever allude to, oh, this needs 10 years of research. This has to be passed by the FDA. We can't do human trials without this. He never talks about any of that up front. He's like, oh man, these will be in heads in like a year, and we're going to be testing these. You're going to see people, disabled people like controlling, entire systems and stuff with their brain. It's like, but your technology, even to this day, is still no more complicated. Or I should say, no, it is complicated, but it's no more enabled than the technology we already have externally that's non-invasive that you can just stick on your head.
Yeah, why not that?
So I don't like that he gets so much fucking press. Like, he could literally come out tomorrow and say, oh, I think that quantum entanglement is going to allow us to instantaneously transport stuff to Mars, and it's going to be revolutionary. So I'm going to start a new company called Wormholes Inc. or something like that. And here's the stock symbol, and we're going to be private. So you got to get on in this venture immediately. People are going to be like, dude, that's the guy from Tesla. That's the guy from SpaceX. Fucking take my money. And then he's going to sell like little tchotchkes, like fucking like little lander craft that have a flame coming at them called like not a flamethrower craft. He's going to sell that shit. He's going to, oh, you want Mars bricks made out of soil from Mars that I quantum teleported, but really it's just fucking, red dirt that he dug out of the ground and put in a brick and mailed to you to fund the project. And then nothing comes of it. Like, it just ends up, all that funding that comes into all those little side ventures or whatever just ultimately gets pumped into float SpaceX because when they're not profitable. And the money from Tesla that's finally profitable after so many failures, that money just gets funneled through him and other parties into his other companies to keep him afloat and to keep the stock manipulated. So he has so much wealth and so much influence now that he can literally say anything. He can do anything. And if any of his stocks are going down or anything is getting in danger zone, he can immediately rob Peter to pay Paul. Like, he has those resources. So, so the thing that is, and I used to really love Elon, but then I started being, man, he says a lot of really weird shit. Why? Like, that's what really got me digging into it, is like watching his Twitter. But then when he's like buying Twitter, I was like, man, I really got to investigate this guy, because he claims that he's for a company being able to do what they want. Like, he's even said that with Tesla. Like, you remember he got mad and he said he was going to basically fire all the employees in California and move to Texas. You remember that when he didn't like the taxation? He's like, oh, I care about my employees, but he's like, I'll literally like fire thousands of employees in California to show you guys because I'm not paying my fair share of taxes. Fuck you guys, I'm going to Texas. He doesn't care about his employees. He sends out a message to SpaceX like a couple of weeks ago saying, guys, SpaceX is about to go bankrupt. You have to work 7 days a week and 240 hours, and we have to get those engines ready for our first orbital test or whatever for Starship, or the whole company's going to die. And everybody's like killing themselves coming to work. And it's like, dude, you just spent $50 billion on a social media platform that you could have single-handedly floated the program for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, but you're telling your employees, oh my God, you're going to be out of a job and the whole company's going to crumble. He's really good at manipulating people. And that's what I don't like, is that he's so fucking successful at it, like a mega church pastor. It's like people buy the shit because they're too close. They're not far enough away to see the strings, right? I mean, they're up so close. They're like, oh my God, this guy's like a god. But if you really analyze the shit he says and the shit he does, it's like, the dude could say anything. There's nothing he could say. He could literally come out and be like, haha, you think that teleporters aren't possible? Or, oh, you don't think that I can build a food replicator? Watch me. I got Food Replicator Inc. And we're going to, we're going to show the SEC who's boss by doing this. And we're going to IPO at $69. He just has way too much influence and control over such a large group of people so fast that basically nothing can fail.
Yeah.
And if something does fail, he can just distance himself from it. It's like, oh, Hyperloop isn't working out. Okay, well, Virgin, you do it. Like, oh, it was just an idea. It's like you go back and watch his videos, and it's like, no, it wasn't just an idea. You said that you guys were going to do this, and it was actually, we're going to be traveling through tubes from San Francisco at 600 miles an hour and guaranteed to be faster. And it's like, all you've got to show for it in the desert is a 1/4 mile long pipe that can't hold a vacuum. without the pump constantly running and consuming an astronomical shitload of power. And the fastest anything's gone through it is like 120 miles an hour. That's like scale RC car thing. And it almost didn't stop before it hit that. The fastest anybody's gone through the tunnel is like, I want to say 20 miles an hour, 15 or 20 miles an hour. So, but yet it's still everywhere. Like if you look, it's still everywhere. Like, oh, Hyperloop, and Hyperloop lost momentum. It's a failure. It's an absolute fucking astronomical failure. So what does he do? Oh, next year we're going to have a full scale Hyperloop. You guys will see. You guys will see, but it's not. It's just a way for him to just rebolster and double down and double down and double down. But people just they love the ride, and I think a lot of it has to do with people are invested into him, and he's had that success before. It's like he's the guy in the Wheaties box. It's like he can do no wrong. And he really takes advantage of that now. I think he surrounds himself with a lot of yes men. He surrounds.
Probably.
Have you seen how many people he bans on Twitter for a guy that claims, "Oh, I like my detractors having a voice and shit." His ban list is in the tens of thousands. The dude bans like everybody. Like I'm surprised I haven't been banned yet.
Yeah. What's it? I wonder. Oh, man, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens at the end of this year with Twitter. It's. What was that? Mastodon, right?
Yeah, Mastodon is the thing that everybody's claiming that they're moving to.
Yeah,
that's the one that Truth Social ripped off and didn't they didn't honor the GPL license or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if they rectified that or not yet.
I don't know. You got to figure.
Hey, Christian, thank you for the $28.35 super chat. We really appreciate that. And IME gave us another $20, dude. Damn, you're awesome. He said, have some lunch on me, guys. We appreciate it so much, dude. Thank you.
Serious business. Thank you.
Now, a lot of people just think that I'm just ripping on Elon to rip on Elon. But the thing is I used to really look up to the dude. I did. Like I was team Elon all the way. Even Adam. Even Adam was team Elon. Big time.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Yeah, man. He loaded his Tesla. Like, and then I remember it wasn't just a couple months ago. He's like, dude, don't.
Yeah, he's done. He's absolutely done.
Like I think he still likes his car. Like the one he has, but overall, like I would have to go back through our text messages and stuff. But he had a fairly large thing to say about what Tesla has been doing, what up to and stuff. Yeah.
Doc Brewski said blocked and banned aren't the same thing. No, they're not the same thing. But my point being is Elon is telling everybody that he believes that his detractors and everything like that should be visible to him and his fans. Like he's like everybody should be able to see both sides, but he's preventing 89 million people from seeing the other side.
Yeah,
the people that follow him by just banning all of his detractors. Now I block people too. I block people all the fucking time. So I'm not saying that he shouldn't be able to block people, but the thing is he's presenting because he wants to tell people what they want to hear. He wants to continuously like lead people on like, I'm gonna open source the algorithm, right? If he open sources that algorithm, it's going to open that shit up to bot attacks like you would not fucking believe. Because if you know how the sauce works, you're just going to create a bot that manipulates it in real time.
Yeah.
So he can't open source the platform. It would destroy it. It would absolutely, as much as I think it'd be cool to have an open source Twitter, there's a reason why you don't see open source platforms get to the size of Twitter and Facebook and shit like that, because they would be instantly mocked by bots and bad actors, like to a level like even way beyond what you see now. Yeah. The other thing is he's like, oh, I'm going to get rid of the bots or die trying. He's not going to get rid of the bots. He uses bots. Elon uses bots for stock trading. He uses bots for his crypto manipulation. A huge amount of his followers are bots. If you go back and look at the geographic location in these accounts that all they do is respond to Elon's tweets. Like I watched a YouTube video where a guy went through and looked at like the people that were responding to Elon. He's like, oh, I see the same people responding a lot with like, oh, Elon, you're a visionary. Oh, Elon, we need more people like you. And he goes back and looks and it's like he finds these accounts that have like 3,000 replies to Elon Musk, like every tweet he's ever made. Yeah. It's like just some generic, like, dude, you're brilliant. Oh my God, this is amazing. And it's like somebody's paying for those bots. Yeah. Somebody's paying for those bots. And I'm pretty sure if you're a scammer, you're not going to just create bots that just like blow up Elon Musk's ego unless you maybe you're investing in a stock and you're trying to help manipulate the stock. But more than likely, it's Elon himself to more quickly grow his influence, right?
Yeah,
people have done it. Like it's botting is something that even YouTubers and shit have done. So I'm not saying it's like anything like crazy or like, something that, but it's just a perception. It's like everybody thinks this guy is this total freaking god that works 24/7 solving all of the world's problems. But like you go read his Twitter and it's like 90% shit posting all day. And every once in a while he has an idea, but then the idea instantaneously gets shot down by science, like basic physics. Like that's the thing that kind of throws me is if he is this real super genius level person, how can he miscalculate so egregiously over and over again?
Yeah.
Like with autopilot, he's like, yeah, autopilot is not actually that hard of a problem to solve if you think about it. So you just need like a sufficiently powerful computer and blah 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 blah. And we're gonna have that, and it'll be in 2020 or 2019. People will have the cars and they'll be driving themselves, and then you won't have to worry about it. And there'll be less wrecks and everything like that. It's like autopilot has caused a shitload of wrecks already. The beta. It's fucking run into an airplane. Like, unless you were drunk off your ass, you're not going to fucking run your car into like a $2 million jet that's like 10 times the size of the car, right? So the thing is it turns out autopilot is a hard problem to solve. Elon's like, oh, no, it's easy. You notice how he always does that too when he stands up? He's like, oh, I'm such a genius. Like, all you'd have to do to solve the world's energy crisis is put sufficient, solar panels over about the area of like, half of Texas, and it'd give the entire world power. And it'd be clean. It's like, okay, so how are you going to transport that power 10,000 miles? What are you going to do when it's dark outside?
Right.
With all those panels in close proximity, how are you going to create the network and the transformers and everything like that so that power density over a long area doesn't just fucking overwhelm the cables and the infrastructure? Like there's all kinds of things that he doesn't factor in. He's like, oh, it'd just be easy. Like all you need is a couple Tesla battery banks and these solar panels. They'd be infinitely cheaper and it'd solve all the world's energy crisis. Well, then why aren't you just doing that? Yeah. Just go do it, dude. Like all he's done so far with his battery technology is created like a buffer in like Australia for like one city, and it's not even, and for the amount of land it takes up, it's like it's really not any more effective than like the 10th of the cost it would take to use the gravity batteries or whatever it is, the ones that use the differential fluid where it pumps fluid. What do they call, flow batteries or whatever?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's like, but he sells it as, oh my god, we solved this like huge problem, this huge crisis and everything. And it's like, but no, if you did, your shit would be everywhere. Like you'd have Tesla batteries backing up like every power system everywhere. If they were the cheaper technology, how infrastructure works. Like if they can save $1, they're going to save $1.
Yeah.
The truth is it's overly expensive. It doesn't last very long. The batteries lose capacity relatively fast, and they have to be replaced with very toxic batteries that are really toxic to produce and energy intensive to produce. But he doesn't talk about anything. He's, oh yeah, solve that problem, be no problem. That's the thing though, is he says it with such confidence you believe him, and even I did too. Because he has that success,
that's a big part of it.
It's like, man, I see Tesla's driving everywhere, and to his credit, it's like Tesla was the breakthrough company. It was. Every other EV company, they tried to establish themselves here and there, but fossil fuel always won out. Elon did get in at the right time with that company, and even though he lost and he got that second round of investment, credit to him, he did get that car produced, even though it was way over budget, outside of the timeline. People believed in it, they bought it, and now they're fucking everywhere. Even if they're pieces of shit that break down all the time and spend most of their time in the shop, they're everywhere. Everybody has them. So he did do that. But the profits that he's now making from that company are basically just going to SpaceX. They really are, because SpaceX isn't profitable. SpaceX, I don't care what anybody says. SpaceX is not profitable. Like, he is literally spending every dime that company makes to put those damn satellites in orbit for the internet service, that people already did the math and realized that 100% capacity, it can't pay for itself to replace the satellites every 5 years, which is required. Now his solution to that is, once Starship comes online, we'll be able to deliver like 5 million of these things at a time into orbit and everything. But it's like, there's still other problems though, like other problems to solve. It's not that simple. And he makes it sound simple. And that's why people jump on his ideas. It's like, Neuralink. Oh yeah, but you're going to sit in bed and we're just going to beam pornography right into your eyes. And you're like, fuck yeah, take my money. It's like, but the reason he can make that promise and he seems like a genius is because nobody else would make that promise, because they know it's bullshit. But with Elon, he's established an audience and a following that believes everything he says, because they're just like, but what about Tesla? What about Tesla? Tesla was successful. What about Tesla? It's like, but Tesla also has massive quality control issues, delivery issues. Tons of people had to wait forever to fucking get them. They spend most of their time in the shop to get a battery for it. It's like $20,000 out of warranty. They won't let you fix your own shit. Like, it's like, it's not what he promised. Like, he's right for repair. What about right for repair? Elon's like all about like saving the environment and we should do this. No, he's not for right for repair. No, you have to buy that shit directly from Tesla, and you better not touch your own shit or you void your warranty. He's basically like the one wheel of cars. So, I just think it's weird. Me personally, I think it's weird that there is such a huge amount of people that just idolize this guy when there is so much information public, especially his Twitter. His Twitter is very telling. Like, just go read all his Twitter posts. Yeah. It is very telling the type of person he is, how manipulative he is, and how all of his wealth comes from basically social engineering. He is a really good social engineer.
Yeah. It's all the I mean, I guess cult of personality sort of thing. Yeah. You gotta give him credit though. It's working.
Credit where credit's due though, man. He is on paper the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
you know, whether love him or hate him, he is the richest man in the world. And Twitter, the thing is, he knows this is what bugs me the most out of everything I just said. The thing that bugs me the most is that he knows he's above the law. He knows it. He's gone through the paces. He's locked horns with the SEC. He knows what the maximum fines are. He knows what they can do. He knows how they can do it. And he's already brazenly in their face manipulated crypto because it was outside of their bailiwick. He's manipulated other stocks because, because it's not Tesla. It's not SpaceX. It's not my company. So I can insider trade on other companies.
Right.
He knows that he can get away with it. And he knows the fines will always be less than the money he makes on the deal.
100%.
And because of that, because he knows he has that power, he is so emboldened to do shit that nobody else can do. And not in a good way. I'm saying that he could literally just buy Twitter, shove all of his messages in front of your face, hide everybody else. And no matter how much people screamed in the media, he could always have a larger voice than them because he owns the freaking platform himself. Yep. Doesn't have to show their shit. He owns the platform now. It's private. Like he can do whatever the hell he wants with it. So yeah, that shit's a little concerning to me. Oh, I think we just dropped to 0 kilobits per second. I think
you did go robot for a second there.
Let's see here. Hold on. No, I'm showing good on my side. Oh, there it's back.
YouTube was just a little blip.
Yeah, because we were still on video the whole time, so it's just a YouTube server. So, all right, well that's enough picking on Elon for today, I suppose. But I just think it's silly. I think it's silly that people look at him like he's like Kenneth Copeland or Jerry Falwell Jr. He's like this religious leader like the Pope. You know what I mean? And it's like he can do no wrong, and he's a genius, and he genuinely has everybody's interests at heart. And I don't believe that for a second. I believe he is 100% just for himself. He's a very, very selfish individual. He says whatever he has to get what he wants. And that's, and I don't think that's going to change. I think it's only going to get worse. I think the fact that he can just wake up and buy the world's like second largest social media network and do a hostile takeover and like basically force them to sell to him is like a huge testament to just how much power he has and he knows he has. Yeah, we keep dropping out. What the hell is going on here? Because our connection is solid.
I don't know.
Through why is YouTube doing that?
YouTube doesn't want us talking about him.
Apparently not. Yeah, YouTube's not receiving enough video data. But the weird thing is we're still broadcasting just fine on the side channel. So it's not my internet connection. So why is YouTube doing it? Is somebody attacking YouTube right now?
I don't know.
It's a little weird. Yep, it just dropped out again. So we're gonna have to figure something out here. Let's see. Can I change servers? Here, give me a second while I troubleshoot this, guys. Let's see, stream. Okay, YouTube primary RTMP. Let's see here, maximum video bitrate.
Yeah, it's Elon. Elon's attacking the stream.
Yep, Elon has. And the funny thing is, like, the scary thing is, yeah, I'm sitting here talking shit about Elon. If Elon wanted me dead or just gone, I'd be dead or gone. Fucks with, like, he could and he's smart enough. No, like, he could go on the dark web and just put a fucking hit on me for like 5 Bitcoin, and it would happen. There's nothing I can fucking do about it. So it's just scary that people like that exist. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. It's scary. Yeah, this is like pogoing. It's like on and off. It's not constant. It's just weird. I think the YouTube server is just like shit in the bed. Can I switch YouTube servers? Here, hold on. Let me do a quick little test here. No, we're good. Are you guys seeing it like stop and go and stop and go and stop and go?
People are saying it's buffering, quality's 3060p, dropping frames. Yeah, it's like coming and going though, because some people are like, it's fine now. YouTube randomly shit the bed on me yesterday.
Can I resume the stream if I stop it, or does it start a new stream? I don't remember if it resumes if you do it within a certain amount of time.
I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna try it because obviously we can't stream or whatever. Let me see if it does it again. Because it's nope, there it goes. It's doing it again. All right, so we're gonna stay connected, Docs, guys. We'll be back here in just a minute. I'm just gonna force it to go to different.
Don't nobody go nowhere.
On YouTube side, so don't go anywhere. All right, let's.
Woo.
All right.
Hello.
Everyone, refresh. All right, let's see if this works. I switched to the backup YouTube server because they have 2 ingest servers. They have the primary and they have the backup. Cool. So I just switched to the backup to see what happened. Yeah, I tested on my side. It's not me dropping packets. It's the server rejecting them. So, so it's not an attack on me. So, all right, let's see if that clears things up. It should have resumed. Okay, people are saying it's back. Cool. So it did resume the stream. I didn't know that was even an option. That's kind of cool. So if you're in OBS Studio and you say stop streaming and then you click start streaming again, and you say manage broadcasts, show streams, then you click show all streams, it'll show your last stream that you did and say resume interrupted stream.
Nice.
And if you click that, then it just resumes that. So I'm guessing if you go back and watch it later, it's just going to show a jump cut right there.
Probably.
Yeah. And I think we're stable. We haven't dropped a single frame yet. So
far.
I think we're good now.
Nice.
Woohoo! The coder said it all comes back to its own. I do it all the time for connection issues. The thing is like, I have a test that I can run on my side to determine if it's incoming packets to my router, or, you know, like if it's a denial of service attack, or if the problem is with the ingest server on Twitch or YouTube. And the problem was definitely with the ingest server, which is weird because it was like intermittent. Like it would happen and then not happen, then happen, then not happen. It almost seemed like it was on a timer. So I'd be curious if other people are having problems streaming right now too. Let me know if you guys hear any like chatter on Twitter or anything about that. But the backup server seems to be working fine, so we can continue. Yeah. Wait, you have 60 seconds on YouTube's end to resume. Oh, nice. Wow, they only give you a minute. Wow, that's not very long. Working so far. Yes, it resumed. Oh, it resumed the stream without you even touching the phone, so it just automatically refreshed.
Yay!
Hell yeah! Hell
even
yeah! Okay,
better.
Is it working for everyone now? Yeah, still haven't dropped a single frame, so that's good. I think we're golden. Let's see here. We are on. Okay, we did Elon Musk buying Twitter. Yep. What about Twitch creators getting robbed? This will be a good one.
Man,
we talk about Elon making all the money in the world. Now let's talk about all the people on Twitch losing all theirs.
Yeah, right. So I guess this is still basically rumor stage, but it's been kind of supported, let's say, by people who are in the know. It sounds like well, here, let me see if I can pull up this is a Gizmodo article, or hardly an article. Here's a few paragraphs from fucking Gizmodo about it. Bloomberg is talking about it, you know, the some of the people, but there was a somebody on the Twitter was talking about it. I think it was Zach Bussy. I don't know how his last name is pronounced, but he tends to be the guy who's on. He's got his finger on the pulse of what's going on at Twitch generally. And where is it? Wow, man, geez, this guy's got a lot going on. Blah blah blah. Oh man, geez, they're removing the friends functionality here soon, but we're talking about holy cow, they've gotten a bunch of there's a bunch of weird shit going on with Twitch right now. So Twitch staff is considering paring back the revenue cut of channel subscriptions granted to the top echelon of streamers. So if you didn't already know, if you were a big streamer, big partner, your cut was 70-30. For most folk, the cut is 50-50 for the subscriptions, right? And subscriptions on Twitch is a little different than subscriptions on YouTube. On YouTube, when you subscribe to a channel, you are just basically following that channel. There's no money involved. When you subscribe on Twitch, there's money involved. You pay $5 a month to subscribe to the channel. You're supposed to not get ads, and you get cool emotes and things like that. There's some other benefits and things. It's like joining the channel on YouTube. Okay. YouTube still has a lot to catch up on as far as the benefits of joining a channel and paying for that stuff. But yeah, I guess they're considering cutting back. Everybody's cut is 50
across the board. It looks like they're not even like they don't care if you're big or small or whatever. They
say in exchange, Twitch may offer to release partners from exclusivity restrictions, allowing them to stream to YouTube or Facebook. It's terrible. This is outrageous. This is fucking, man, I don't understand why this is happening. Like,
this would hurt me badly because my primary revenue is subscribes. Like that's
oh yeah, of course,
where most of my revenue comes from.
Yeah, and man, this is weird because so Twitch is owned by Amazon. They are. I think they are not a separate company anymore. They're Amazon now. It's just part of their thing. It seems like they have generally Amazon, I mean, has generally kind of been hands off with the operations of Twitch. They other than some integrations with like Prime and things like that, live streaming Thursday Night Football, you can do that on Twitch, things like that. Yep. Amazon seems to have kind of been hands off on their operations of Twitch, and so this move is very strange. I don't know, man. It's super weird. I don't get it. I don't care for being a partner. I'll keep my affiliate status. That way I can get around the restrictions on multi-streaming just by streaming the occasional game. Yeah, there's that. And honestly, being an affiliate has kind of been the better deal for a while. If nothing else, for the like somewhat flexible restrictions on your streaming content. They're also enforcing ads now, even if the streamer has it off. Yeah, there was some talk about like there was something about pushing like some sort of, there was talk about some difference. They're making changes to how much the cut, or how much money you might get for how much ads you push on your channel and things like that.
They've already enabled more aggressive ads. Like I logged into my Twitch dashboard last week and it's like, oh, do you want to sign up for the monthly like program where you get a bigger cut running more ads on your channel or whatever, where it basically just auto runs ads every like 30 minutes or 45 minutes or something like that?
I think
I didn't enable it.
I think it's like 10 every 10 minutes or so.
See,
Twitch can't lose money forever. Dude, they're not. I would be shocked, mind blown if Twitch was literally losing money. Why would Amazon spend nearly $1 billion to acquire a company that was not profitable?
Here's the thing though, is it's not, even if it's not directly profitable, it's indirectly profitable.
Yeah,
because Amazon does merch sales and affiliate links and promotes their own stuff and does their own ad campaigns and everything. So the money that they're making on Amazon promoted through Twitch, it's still revenue. It's like, it's going to show, that revenue is going to show up on Amazon's side, but it's still revenue generated by Twitch. So I think it's one of those things where it's like they want to act and play it up like, oh, we're losing our ass, you know, we got to conserve money, we got to stick together, when realistically that's not the truth. Like Amazon has more money than God. Like they could literally operate Twitch at a loss indefinitely just for its publicity.
And it's, yeah, I don't, that's why I don't understand why they're talking like they need profitable, blah, blah, blah. They've been profitable. I see too many ads on Twitch and I don't like it. I tend to see the same. Yeah, right. So actually, Jerry and I were talking about this before the stream started. It blows my mind that is this indicative of Twitch, Amazon having financial troubles? Absolutely not. Twitch, maybe. Twitch specifically, maybe, but not Amazon. But even then, I don't understand how Twitch could be having any sort of financial problems. It's just outrageous to me. I don't know how public any of Twitch's. Here, let's see. Twitch.
Okay, hold on. You may not have seen this, but it looks like Amazon reported a $3.8 billion loss, and it said it was hit from its investment in the electronic car maker Rivian. I didn't know that they were invested in that.
That's weird. I thought Rivian was doing really well. Like, no, I've seen good things about the truck.
No, the truck is cool, but like when they did that whole thing where they like jacked up the price on everybody, even though they flipped it back, it just like killed favor in the company and a ton of people canceled their orders.
Okay.
So it does say they reported 3.8 billion in loss from Amazon. Here, let me see what their stock is at right here. Amazon stock.
So it looks like it's a little difficult to see.
Dude.
It looks like it's a little difficult to see how much Twitch is doing, because I've seen a lot of estimated revenue numbers and things like that.
When did they announce this? Do you remember when they announced? So here's the interesting thing. A couple of days ago, on April 28th, that's probably around the time
the day after. Right? The day after.
So the day after it was announced, it went from 2,886 a share, and it tanked down in one day to 2,527, and now today it's down to 2,451. It's down 14%. That's
Amazon?
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazon like shit the bed hard.
Well, it's just imagine it is following this, right?
Yeah. I think this did the opposite effect of what they were thinking.
I don't know how this was supposed to be a good idea. Just even the rumor of something like this. Yeah. You don't allow a rumor that you're taking 30% from your people.
And it's like not even committed. They're just thinking about doing it. So
I mean, so I think related to this, from the beginning, or I think it was toward the end of last year and on through the beginning of this year, like I think it was toward the end of last year, like 300 higher level employees dipped out And then from the start of this year to about now, another like 30 guys, like people like DJ Wheat. He's been like their face forever. He's been like their main, kind of like, fuck, who's the guy behind with the Xbox? Oh man, the major community guy for Xbox.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Major
Nelson.
Major Nelson. Yeah.
DJ Wheat's kind of the equivalent for Twitch. He dipped out early this year or late last year too, and that to me was a big shock. Like he's been the guy who's been like, no, like just come on, Twitch is great. Like come on, like we're doing good. We're gonna make these changes. Everybody, we're listening. Blah blah blah. And man, I don't know what's going on, but I know a lot of it has. There have been changes internally to Twitch, and they've kind of lost their soul, their original. A lot of their mission is gone now.
I was always worried that was going to happen too. Like when Amazon bought them, I was like, shit. But then Amazon's like, oh, we're going to leave them alone, let them do their thing, and just be the funding. But Facebook said the same thing about Oculus, and look what they're doing now.
Right.
And Facebook's like, don't worry, Oculus. And don't get me wrong, I still love the Oculus, but it's like so tied into Facebook now. Like so mandatory, like you have to be in Facebook with real information and like feeding the algorithm if you want to play your games. Yeah. And they said when they bought Oculus, they're like, oh no, we're just going to be the funding behind them and invest in them, and they're going to have free reign. Now they're like, metaverse and tied into Facebook and everything.
How do I get around this bullshit free article limit from Bloomberg?
There's a plugin you can install. I forget what it's called. It's hold on, let me see if I can find it here. It's called Universal Bypass. There's a plugin called Universal Bypass, and it basically, like any site that tries to do like that blocking shit client side or whatever, it just disables it.
That's nice. Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, man, this is super weird. It's so weird. What was it? Exodus began last year. More than 300 employees left. So far, 60 plus people have walked out the door in 2022.
From Twitch
From Twitch, yeah. Okay. According to 7 current and former employees, it's because they say Twitch is losing touch with its North Star, a community of about 8.5 million streamers whose gaming exploits attract an average of 140 million people to the platform each month. I agree, man.
Oh, wow, they announced a 20-to-1 split also.
Amazon?
So not only did Amazon announce a loss, a $7.6 billion loss from its investment in Rivian Automotive. Yeah. Not only did they announce that, which caused a 10% drop immediately, and then now it's 14% as of today. But now they're doing a 20-to-1 stock split. So not only is the stock shit in the bed right now, they're going to split it 20 ways, which will make it way more accessible to people.
Yeah, I'm down. So which will incentivize people to buy. So they'll probably. I will if it's cheap like that. Dude, yeah. It'll climb back up to that 1,000 like it was. This is a good time. It's good to get back into. I think Apple did that too, just recently too.
Oh, did they do a split?
Yeah, I want to say Apple did that.
This might be the time.
I might have gotten mixed up. Oh, it was 4-to-1 in August of 2020.
So it was in 2020.
I may have heard of Amazon recently.
Yeah, because the problem is like when you get to the whole Apple, Berkshire Hathaway or whatever, where it's like the stock's like $1 billion a share or whatever, then you just have a bunch of people that just basically hold it forever because it's just so damn expensive, and it limits who can invest in it, right? But actually, you know what? That's actually not true anymore, because now you got services like Robinhood and Cash App and stuff that let you buy fractional stocks together with other people.
Dude, I can do that through Schwab. It is only a few. I haven't figured out exactly how to see like the list of them, but it is only some. It's not any stock. It's some. But yeah, and they do tout it as being like, oh, you can buy like just a slice of Apple or whatever. These big guys. I haven't quite figured out how to do it, but yeah.
I think somebody's hitting the YouTube server, the ingest server, because it's roller coastering now that we switched to the backup server. Yeah. And I'm still showing a clean connection on my side, and me and you are still talking with 0 frame drop. Weird. So, but it's still like every couple of seconds it drops out to 0 going to YouTube. So the YouTube server is just like, nope, don't talk to me. Okay, talk to me. Don't talk to me. Talk to me. So yeah, I wonder what's going on. Let me see. Is there anybody? Oh, let me go check Twitter. I want to see if YouTube support is saying anything, because this has to be a broader issue. Let's see, YouTube support. What the hell is the account? I thought it was, is it YouTube support or YouTuber support? I can't remember. Let's see here. Let's go to YouTube's main account. YouTube down. All right, hold on here. Okay, so 5 hours ago.
Team YouTube, maybe?
No, let me look at the latest here. I'm trying to see if anybody's saying YouTube is down. 2 seconds ago. No. I mean, I'm not seeing anything so far.
Yeah.
This is weird.
It's just us.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do one more switch to I'm gonna go to RTMP, their other server, and we'll give that a try and see what happens.
Sure.
All right, we'll be back in just a second. Possible that they're attacking me and that Nord is just filtering out the packets to me, but they're still taking the hit on their side.
Well, I mean, how bad is the experience for our audience here? You guys
It should be terrible. It's dropping to 0
Is it pretty
kilobits
bad
per second
for everybody?
Yeah, let's see. What do you guys think in chat? Are you guys still hearing everything we're saying? Is it just turning to potato, but you can still hear the audio? Because as long as you guys can still hear the audio, that's what I'm worried about. I just want to make sure it's not like completely stopping.
Yeah, man, you guys don't need to look at us.
Yeah, let's see. How are Twitch creators getting robbed this time?
What, man? We're almost done with that topic. What?
Yeah, we already burned through that. It's fine. It works again. It's good now. I didn't have issues before. I got the refresh circle thing. Here I hear the audio. It's fine for the moment. It just buffers sometimes. Audio
you need like a poll or something.
Oh wait, so is it buffering? Like, so when it continues, you're still hearing all the audio. There's no as long as there's not an audio cutout, like it's coming back and they're hearing the full words. That's all.
Hey, no worries, Miss Nikita. I'm just busting your chaps.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Joe Taji, thank you for the $5 super chat. We appreciate that support, man. He said, "What are your thoughts on Twitch discontinuing the desktop app? I'm gonna miss it. I didn't know they were discontinuing the desktop app.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't.
I don't know. It kind of comes under that same. It comes under that same category of like, you know, oh, another game launcher, because like you could get at your free Prime games and stuff that way and stuff. I don't know. I feel like it's a little shitty from like an accessibility standpoint, but overall, like, meh, whatever. It's okay.
I'm gonna ask on Twitter, see if anybody else is noticing any buffering problems on other streams. It's so weird. Like it's all or nothing. It's weird that it's intermittent like that, like almost like on a timer. Let's see here. Buffer sometimes when it buffers, it completely pauses. Yeah, because it says 0 kilobits per second. The server is basically rejecting the traffic for a little while, and then it comes back, and then it rejects the traffic, and then it comes back. But the weird thing is, like, if it was on my side, then it would break up Aux and I. And it's not. We're connected through Video Ninja, and we haven't dropped anything, and Video Ninja shows perfect packet transfer, not a single packet drop. So it's got to be something on YouTube side. It's very, very weird. But hey, you just roll with the punches. Hey, well, we're thinking about it though. Do you want to talk up your sponsor that you got over there?
Oh yeah. Today's sponsor is Australian author Shannon L. Scott. Let me hang on. They gave me a blurb to say here. As you can see, they would like us to hype. They'd like us to hype the second Sight trilogy and also a current work in progress project. So I'm just gonna read what they gave me. It says Shan L. Scott is an Ipswich QLD, I think that's Queensland, Australian writer with a penchant for the dark and macabre. Her interest in all things supernatural and her natural instincts in deftly weaving it into a tale makes her storytelling riveting. Her vast life experience can be perceived in the mature themes of her books, and the manner in which she approaches and explores often dark yet extremely sensitive topics is a testament to her insight and innate desire for exposing the truth of a situation. Hang on, there's going to be somebody out the door, and we will return to our previously sponsored segment in just a moment.
We even do our sponsorship in segments. By the way, just so you guys know, that sponsorship that's over there, the reason that it's in Aux's little box there is he gets to keep all the proceeds from that. That's like his little side hustle that he's got going on over there. So please go support that person and go like check out their book and stuff like that.
Yeah, www.shanlscott.com. So she has a diverse background from a career in electronics in central Queensland coal mining belt to quality assurance and bridge building in Brisbane. She's always enjoyed an intellectual challenge. She studied a B digital design at Griffith University and BA archaeology at USQ. That's pretty cool. I would do that. And also did a brief stint at medical school. And on Shan's passions Passion is for the arts, however. She enjoys writing, designing digital artwork, playing classical guitar, and building flat pack furniture. There's an art to putting anything from IKEA together. She has 2 cats who love to sleep close by while she's writing, and Shan can often be seen rubbing a soft tummy while pondering what to write next. Kitties. Shan's current work in progress is a historical, dark, and gritty crime novel with a curse and a supernatural twist. It's a race against the clock, fast-paced drama with a touch of romance, loyalty, and friendship in the mix. Shan plans to have this novel out by August or September. The second Sight trilogy, right, is a modern-day tale which begins with a stark, supernatural, romantic drama and increases in intensity and foreboding with each book, culminating in a nerve-wracking horror story by the final installment. So check out www.shanlscott.com.
We've actually had her on. You've had her on here before, and she was like really thrilled about it. So
yes.
So if you guys would like to advertise and help out Mr. AuxxZillary over there, you can reach out to him on Twitter. And as long as your advertisement passes the general vetting is to not be terrible for us to advertise.
I'm pretty flexible. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be super freaking weird.
Like, yeah. Weird is fine.
You know,
like weird
you
is
have to be really, really off the map, you know? Yeah. I imagine anybody who would be watching is not going to give me something that I'm going to be offended by, or would be inappropriate for our strum.
be careful.
I know. I say that now.
Like,
I'm gonna get, and then and then Pup Shepherd's gonna send me some weird fucking shit.
Gonna be like, I'd like to run an ad for my my wiener slurping contest.
Well, look, think about. I mean, I'm probably a little more flexible than YouTube, but keep that kind of a mentality to your advertisements. You know.
I do love Pup though. He's good. He's a good supporter of the channel. He's a cool dude. He just he has very specific tastes, and
y'all need Jesus.
No. Yeah, y'all need Jesus. Oh my God. But you gotta love Pup. He's a good guy. That's a fun story to tell, though. How me and him met.
Brief synopsis in the description would help us latecomers understand the talking points a bit more, like a few words to outline how our Twitch. Oh, sure. You know, yeah, that's true. A lot of times, though, we throw this together like in literally like 5 minutes before we go live. So
yeah, we don't even study the topics or anything because we like to just learn it along with everybody else.
No, I grab headlines. That's it.
Yeah, this isn't like the Philip DeFranco show. This is more of the just like we're an excuse for us to hang out and have a good time and somehow make a couple of bucks along the way to pay the IRS.
Yeah,
that's basically what it comes down to. Hey, little segue there, Ox. You making any progress with the whole PC building thing, bro? What's going on there?
Oh, a little bit actually. Yeah, I need to actually
give us some deets, man.
Well, I sold one recently that I had built a while ago, and finally he's done anything about Elon. Dude, we stopped. Man, where did you go? I'm just kidding. So you know what? It just makes me really nervous to buy more parts because like I don't have a lot of data on like potential profit and stuff. I need to be able to make enough to buy more parts, and so I'm just really nervous about the risk part, I guess. But having sold this one recently puts me in a better position to feel less nervous about it. I don't want to carry debt, you know.
If you're not nervous about it, it's not worth doing.
Yeah, right. Like if you're not scared.
Every single thing I've ever done in my life, like I told you the story about. Well, you can go watch my life story on YouTube. It's like life story. But I wouldn't have never worked at Microsoft if it wasn't for me like literally risking it all. Right. Like I completely rolled. I quit my job and literally lived in a hotel for 5 days, like 3 hours away from my house. With like I think $200 in the bank that barely covered my share of the room I was sharing with other people. And if I didn't get that job, I was screwed. Like I wasn't even going to be able to afford my rent. I would have lost my apartment. Damn. So I'm not saying that people should roll the dice that hard, especially if you have a family. Definitely.
Yeah, like
if you're a loner, you can get away with it.
I'm not talking about. I'm the amount of money I'm looking at spending is not enough to like have the house taken away or anything like that. Right. And I have done at least the bare minimum to insulate myself. That in that sense. So. I have a business line of credit. I have business bank accounts, and I have a proper paperwork and all that stuff to be set up correctly so that I'm at least minimally protected personally from anything like that.
That's good.
But it still makes me nervous. I don't want to get into a position where like I'm only making minimum payments kind of thing.
Sure. So the system that you sold, what were the specs on it?
Oh, hang on.
Oh, just got to communicate with the peoples in his house. In a world where AuxxZillary has communication with his domestic partner, aka wife. Let's see here. Jim the Evo said, I'm starting my research lab soon. I'm eyeballing a Puget system. I mean, I love Puget systems. I got all Puget systems, although I need to get an AuxxZillary build up in this biatch once he gets rolling. I mean, I need him to like get a couple more systems out there in the wild and get his sea legs going where he's confident. We'll get one of the AuxxZillary builds in here and showcase the hell out of it because I want to help my bro out. Joe said, how much do you charge to build a computer? We'll have to ask him. You good, man?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The teenagers are getting ready for a dance tonight and stuff. Just questions.
Oh man, they grow up so fast, don't they?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you tell her boyfriend like where the gun is and how you like watching it and loading it?
I gotta say, I'm bummed out. It bums me out a little bit because I like this dude, and in fact, she's got a good head on her shoulders. The guys that she is interested in are good people, and so I don't get a chance really to like flex nuts like that. And because
she actually got a good one.
Yeah, they're like,
man.
They're not dweebs or anything or like sketchy, bros and stuff. Like, I'm like, dang it. I don't get
you don't get to flex on them. Damn.
Oh man. I'm fine. Whatever. I mean, it's good, but still it would have been fun to at least be like, I can't fake it, I can't just be a grumpy old man just to be a grumpy old man. I have to actually.
It would be fun to do it as an obvious joke, though. Like when he comes over to like pick her up for the dance or whatever, just like rack a shotgun in the background or something, or play a shotgun racking noise and be like, "I'll be out in a second."
Yeah, right. Got a cat? No, I don't have any cats.
You're a dog guy.
Yeah. I do like cats. Don't get me wrong. I do like cats, but yeah, they're all. I mean, I guess Yoshi counts as a cat. He's tiny. He weighs like 8 pounds or something.
Oh, your itty bitty little dog, the wiener dog?
The mini dachshund, yeah.
Those dachshunds are stout dogs, man.
He's so cool. I like him.
You can step on them, run them over with trucks and stuff, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I ran over a dachshund once and it like yelped all the way home, and I was like, "Oh my god, I killed their dog!" And they're like, "Oh no, he gets run over like all the time. It's fine."
Jeez.
I was like, "What?"
That's
like,
weird.
I was driving my little Ford Courier, and I'm like, brum, brum, and I mean, it
probably
jacked
faking
the car up. Like it jacked it up. Like I hit him like I mid-sectioned this dog. And I look in my rearview mirror and he's like, I'm like, oh no, I killed the dog. And I pull over and he runs into the little doggy door and goes in the house, and I knock on the door and I'm like, oh my god,
totally
I'm so sorry,
faking
I ran over your dog. And they're like, shit, he gets hit all the time. He's fine. And the kids were like playing with him and like rubbing his back and his belly. And I was like, how in the I mean, it was a light truck. Granted, I didn't run over with like an F-150. It was a truck that, two adults could pick up the front of it. It was like a tiny little 70s truck. But still, I was like, wait a second, like your dog's been hit before and you like still just let him like run around the neighborhood. Like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? Like, I almost shifted from like, I'm sorry I hit your dog to like, what the hell kind of owners are you?
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you? But yeah, stout little dogs, man.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
So Samara wanted me to talk more about Elon Musk. Apparently, they didn't get enough of Elon. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, I thought that when I pulled my headphones off, you had more questions about the computer.
No, we did. Somebody wanted to ask how much you charge to build a computer. I know that's like a really like wide.
Labor. So labor would be $100, and then parts, of course.
That's actually a killer.
And
deal,
so like
dude.
there's kind of a mix of. I haven't gotten to a point where I've found a proper like I guess workflow as far as parts acquisition goes. I'm uniquely positioned to get some stuff at better deals than other people. As a business, you're afforded certain opportunities that regular, consumers don't get. And so like if you have a box of parts or whatever, that's great. I'll put it together $100. or you can come to me with like, hey, this is kind of what this is kind of what I'm looking for. I'll do my best to put together a parts list that is acceptable. And
dude, $100 is like, that's cheap.
I mean, because like, think about it. It would work out to about $20 an hour. Because like, I don't fuck around, man.
No, like your cable management and everything's like fantastic.
Yeah. So, and if I were to acquire the parts, I'd probably actually make a little bit more than that because just
the margin on the parts.
I can get parts at good prices. $100 sounds fairly cheap. Is that for a basic air system? Yes. Yeah. So I have no experience with custom liquid loops yet. I have all of the bits and pieces to do one. And that's going to be kind of my first big sort of like showpiece. It's not going to be real fancy. It's just solid black tubing. The whole build is basically black and silver. But I've never done this before. I have all the stuff. One of these streams is I have to do that. And that will be something else entirely. Because man, the parts, just I don't even know the right words, and the blocks and stuff. Just the blocks are expensive.
The water blocks, like the solid copper and
man, and EK. I mean, just go to EKWB, right, and just check out their prices. Like, that's just expensive,
dude. I've only ever built one water cooled system, and I spent $800 on the water cooling components. It was two radiators, all the fittings, the tubing, the pump, and the reservoir.
Yeah,
and just those components alone was $800. And the block, the water block was really expensive. I would say the water block was like $150 or $200.
Yeah,
because it was solid. It was a solid copper block that was like milled, and then it had was it like a coating on it to keep it from oxidizing?
Yeah.
And so it didn't look like copper. It actually looked like gold. It was weird. They put like a coating on it that made the copper like a brighter goldish looking color. It looked like a bar of gold.
Sure.
And it was polished like a mirror on one side. It actually looked like a first surface mirror. But I was like, damn, man, like $800 for this stuff. And it's like, you're like, wow, it's just a pump, a plastic reservoir, some tube. The fittings were expensive. I want to say that because there was those fittings that you can connect and then you disconnect and like less than one drop drips.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. You can unplug them, plug them like they're cables basically. Mm-hmm. And I want to say they were $20 a fitting. Fits. Yeah. For a male, female, like mated pair. And I needed like 5 of them.
For input output, but the rest of them are corners and things. So Richard asks, how does it work? I send you parts and then you send me PC. So if you're serious about that, I don't know how to answer that right now because there are there's liabilities. Generally at the moment I'm trying to operate more locally.
Shipping becomes a nightmare for low volume stuff.
Yeah, I'm not in a very good position to, like, if I like, okay, so yeah, say you buy all the parts on Newegg and have them shipped to me, right? I put the thing together, I then ship the completed build to you. You would have to pay shipping for that. My concern is if something catastrophic happens between build complete and you receiving it, I'm not in a position to. Morally, I would want to do everything I could to make it right, in the way that the companies that I have worked for would do, and it would put a lot of stress on me financially. Well, the company
for low volume,
would put stress on the company. Yeah. I mean, to like,
you can really eat it on high volume stuff. You can't on low.
It could max me out if one system was like completely DOA. It would max me out because I'm brand new and this is all hobby stuff. Like I'm doing this very, very piecemeal. I have no I'm not using what I call my house money for any of this. This is all stuff that this money I make from the show here, from the ads, from my own Twitch streaming and side hustly stuff that the system I just sold, that kind of a thing is all helping to fund all of this. So it'd be, I would be very hesitant to, if it were a fully air system, I'd feel a lot more confident. I also am I want to have a want to focus on small form factor stuff. So I would feel like that wouldn't be as
That makes
sketchy.
shipping easier, definitely.
Yeah, it's less heavy. Everything's really tight and compact. So any sort of jostling and banging around is not as bad. I can secure the box, so it'd be double boxed. It would come, the system would go back into the case's retail box, and then that box would go inside of another box.
Yep.
Right. So it would be a conversation. You and I would have to have a conversation. We would set expectations on all of that stuff. I would want to have an appropriate legal document drawn up with those sorts of those expectations spelled out. If something bad happens, what am I going to do? What are you going to do? How those sorts of things play out. I would want everybody to feel confident in that we would have a best possible outcome.
Yeah, and you could do like shipping insurance too. So if something is damaged, the insurance kicks in. I mean, it sucks, but at least then it's not like wiping you off the face of the earth if they kick your shit around the loading dock.
Man, and that's such a pain in the butt too. Like, oh yeah. But again, it would be something that we would have to talk about and really nail down expectation. Yeah.
So you start with local builds. So greater Seattle area kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what about live streaming the builds?
Oh, that's the plan. All of them, everything. Yeah, I'd want to do. I mean, obviously, it would get to a point where I wouldn't be able to do every single one of them. But yeah, that's part of the hook for sure. As people like doing it. People liked watching it when I was doing that for Puget. People like it when the other guys do it, Origin and Power GPU and things like that. They do.
Well, now that Artesian's gone, you could slip in there, dude. You got
yeah, that's a funny one too. They were kind of doing it how Origin and Power GPU are doing it as well. And they weren't live streaming every build. They were live streaming their more prominent ones, like the sponsored builds for fancy people and things like that.
Oh, it looks like by the way, I think YouTube is experiencing some problems.
Oh, sure.
Because somebody on Twitter just posted a picture that said higher than usual number of people are reporting buffering, sign-in issues, and playback issues right now as of 58 seconds ago. So
yeah. Nice.
So they definitely are having issues.
And despite my own personal preferences about RGB and all that jazz, like I understand that the market enjoys that sort of thing, and so I have it's not mine, right? I'll build whatever you ask me to build. So if you want all of that stuff, if you want a particular like theme, colors, blah blah blah, I'll do whatever I can to make it what that's the whole idea, right? Is I want these things to be so the company's custom tailored computers, man, and I want them each one to be for each individual, and yeah.
So did you hear about Artesian announcing bankruptcy? Did you see that?
Like officially? Like not their whole that whole business they put on Twitter months ago, right?
Yep.
Is it something else?
No, it just happened yesterday.
Oh no!
So they announced that
100%?
They filed bankruptcy and they're defaulting on $1.2 million of PC orders.
Where was that?
Yeah, it was on Twitter. Somebody linked to the article here. Let me see if I can find it again. If you guys don't know the Artesian PC story, the TLDR of it is a guy named Noah Katz, who's the CEO of the company, who built an entire community on building computers on live streams. That's what they did. What's that?
I'm just kidding. Stole my idea.
Stole his idea. No, but they evolved into a company that was basically like, selling boutique PC builds to people. And they did giveaways, and it turned out that they were rigging the giveaways, and Noah Katz actually rigged a giveaway in real time as somebody won, who was a female streamer who was a supporter of their cause, and he basically like badmouthed her and said, "Oh, you're not big enough, you're not relevant enough to deserve one of our PCs. Here, let's draw somebody else."
Yep.
And it ended up backfiring on him hard because he was known for getting more and more arrogant, and so he went after the whole community, came down on him like a ton of bricks. And I swear it wasn't even like a day. And he kept doubling down. Like he'd do a half-ass apology, and then he'd basically like take it back. and then he'd try to apologize again, but then he'd like backstab again. And so he couldn't just come out and create a video. It's like, hey, we're gonna do better. He had to keep being mouthy and have some but. Anyways, it bit him in the ass. Company now is in default of $1.2 million of PC builds, which means now people are gonna have to go sue the ever living shit out of him personally to get their money back on those computers. That's huge.
That's crazy. I wonder what the process would be. Like, how could one such as myself perhaps acquire their data, like their customer list, their mailing list, their, that kind of a thing.
$20.
Well, I just wonder, I mean, because it's a private company, so you didn't have to do anything with it. Like, you could just say, no, fuck you. But I'm very curious how one would even begin that sort of investigation. Yeah, Jay stepped in and built her a system.
Yeah, Jay was the first one that built her a system, and then a couple other people.
Yeah, she immediately got sponsored by like Corsair or
something like that, or Thermal Take
Cooler Master. It was Cooler Master.
Master.
That kind of, which is super cool.
Yeah, and she said the extra PCs she gets, she's just going to do giveaways for her community. So the irony is it comes full circle.
Receivership. That's it. Because man, they'd have to. There's product. There's still inventory to sell.
I found the article here. So it says, so Artesian Builds files, and this is 3 days ago, Artesian Builds files bankruptcy with an estimated 1.3 million in unfulfilled orders. The PC building and Twitch streaming outfit imploded last month and will now sell off its inventory to pay its debt. So they are actually selling off their inventory. So I guess they might be able to refund some people's money, but no one knows.
Can I get in on that auction? I'll get in on that auction, man.
Especially with like the GPU prices coming down, man. Like acquire their whole inventory. So last Friday, shuttered custom PC maker Artesian Builds filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy in California with over $3 million in liabilities on its balance sheet. Oh, yeah. So those guys are totally not getting their money back, even if they sell the inventory, including an estimated 1.37 million unfulfilled orders. According to documents included with the filings, Artesian's appointed reconstructing officer is now seeking buyers for the company's assets, which include an estimated 917,000 worth of inventory. So not even close to what they owe. The owner estimates the total assets valued at 1.27 million. It's unclear how accurate these estimates are. So technically, he doesn't have enough for the 3 million liabilities. Plus, he owes the back taxes too. That was the other thing that sunk him. It wasn't just this situation. It's just this situation drew enough attention to him that it surfaced a whole bunch of other bad things he was doing.
Man, that's it. Like, I feel like they were on the raggedy edge anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, they would have eventually died anyways because he was basically evading taxes and operating without a license. So it would have been him eventually. This just sped the process up very greatly.
Wow. Yeah. So it's like on Dexerto, there's a blurb about it, and there's like some follow-up stuff about like one peg reveals Artesian Builds financial troubles as employees tried to oust CEO. Wow. Came to light that Artesian owes $450K to 2 PC parts sellers. So I could probably tell you who those are. There's only a handful of parts distributors in the United States. And with a company like this, you're probably going through I guess this is public knowledge. You can find this stuff out. There's ASI. They're not that great. No offense or nothing. I'm not trying to shit on them or anything, but I can get better prices on Amazon half the time. Cinex and crap, I can't remember the third one, but they're basically the 3 big electronic parts distributors in the United States. And $450K that you owe, that's a lot. That's a lot of inventory. That is, I mean, wow.
Well, I worked at a computer store, and we never at any time held more than $90,000 in inventory.
Dude,
that was for a whole store. So.
And so that's probably on like net 30, probably net 30, because I don't know who'd give them net 90s, but like, so net 30 means you have 30 days from you don't have to pay right away. It's 30 days from your receipt of the product to pay. And this all this kerfuffle happened in March 8th. So less than, I guess, technically 2 months, if you want to take it that way, 2 months ago. So yeah, they were probably on a net 30 and pushed them back. And now they have to. That's it. Yeah. Ingram Micro. Yeah. I think that'd be the third one. Yeah.
Now,
I'm
here's
sure
the
there
thing,
are others. I'm
if
sure
you
there are
file
others, but those
Chapter
are the big ones.
11, so if the company files Chapter 11, well, actually, I don't know if they were an LLC or not, but because I'm wondering if Noah is still like liable, like if he can be personally sued by the people, like where the hell's my computer, or where the hell's my money, or if the bankruptcy insulates him from that.
I think they were. Well, I suppose it depends on how it works out for their California thing, because I think their main headquarters was on the East Coast. You'd have to dig into the paperwork.
It was Gamers Nexus that exposed him. Oh, he was one of many guys.
In part, yeah.
He was one of many. He
blew up on Twitter, and then
definitely
GN stepped in with a video. A bunch of the tech tubers did.
Yeah, the whole reason that they jumped in and made the video is because it was getting so much attention already on social media. So not to discredit, like, I mean, Steve from Gamers Nexus did an amazing video. Like his video, like, I love it, man. I love his stuff. Gamers Nexus is badass. Like, I love his content. I also like his business model too. He can literally say anything about anybody. Like his hands aren't tied like most other tech tubers.
Yeah.
Because most of his business is funded through his merch sales and stuff like that. Because he has really unique merch. That's one thing. He doesn't just go to a merch company and be like, buy my t-shirt. He actually has
coasters and the beer mat and stuff. Like, that's freaking
that
neat.
Beer mat is awesome too. So so he makes a lot of money on that. So he does have sponsors, but he can negotiate a lot better terms with them.
Yeah.
So he can say whatever he wants. Like if something's a piece of shit, he can say it's a piece of shit. If it blows up and catches fire, he'll tell you about it. Whereas there's a lot of tech tubers behind the scenes that are like, oh, all right, well, let's shine this in the absolute best light because they're paying us $10,000 or $20,000 to do it.
Man.
You know, so it's so I like his model. I like the fact that he can be so honest about everything.
Yeah.
Because then when he comes out and he's really honest about it, then you start seeing other tech tubers that might have said something positive about the thing. Then they start jumping in and kind of being like, oh, okay, well, we got the green light now to say it because somebody else already did. Like with the gigabyte power supplies blowing up and all that stuff.
I do wonder how well. Awesome. I wonder how well that the gal who basically blew this all open. Yeah, I wonder how well she's doing, because like I know, I mean, it's only been like a month or so, but like, or two, I guess. I know I think in private I talked about this kind of thing.
She was killing it last time I looked.
Well, it's one thing to kind of ride the wave, right? Like you're gonna get a big influx of followers and viewers and stuff, but like you're not going to keep them if you're not already somewhat good, right? Like, or entertaining or whatnot. Oh, how do you spell Synex? It's a Y, SYNNEX.
I mean, she's doing pretty good. I mean, her Twitter posts are getting upwards of 50 to 100 likes and quite a few retweets as of just a couple of days ago. So here, let me go look at her Twitch channel here. She's got a pretty entertaining stream, because she's super 18 plus, like, you know, say whatever comes into your mind instantaneously.
Nice. So to clarify though, with the Synex thing, it's actually Tech Data, I think, is who's actually the distributor, but Synex is Tech Data. So you might have to do a little bit more digging, but it's Synex / Tech Data.
Oh, dude, she's streaming. She's got 83 live viewers right now.
See, okay, so that's
bad.
That's kind of what I thought, because like I imagine for a little while she was riding high, probably a couple 500 viewers for a little while.
Oh, one time hit over to the 4,000, I think.
Yeah, and so it's probably, I wonder how that compares to prior, but man, that's great. Good for her.
Still,
that's
she only averaged like 5 to 11 viewers before. So if you think about that, that's still, I mean, that's 8x, right? Great. I mean, that's still sustained after everything's already happened, right? That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like, rock on, man. Get after it. She deserves it. But yeah, that's the thing. Hey, so like the initial wave stuff never lasts. Like it's not you take what you can and you ride it as much as you can, and then you just move on.
I've mentioned before, a guy I used to work with, his lady kind of blew up while he was working with me. His lady blew up after having a great interaction on GTA Online, enough that he quit and like became her manager and stuff. Like and I think they're still doing real well. I haven't actually watched a Twitch stream in probably 2 years or something. It's been a long time. Oh yeah, she's still streaming. She's streaming right now. Yeah.
Well, who is it? I'll go follow him.
You probably already do. Nikita. I've mentioned this before, and then I get a text message from him saying, "Hey, man, you talking about my lady?" No, nothing aggressive like that. I put a weird spin on it. Nothing aggressive. It just was like, I saw some people coming in. The last time I mentioned this, he's like, "Oh, people coming on chat saying AuxxZillary is something, blah blah blah," and he messaged me, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, just saying, talking about your success and how it happened and things like that. Nothing bad or anything. Just tossing it out there." And it is hilarious. Or I don't know what her shtick is now, but honest, good content, really, really good stuff.
So Nikita, like NAKKIDA?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, with the like sheep with the heart?
Yep.
Is that it? Okay, I'm gonna follow. No, I wasn't following. I just
snap.
following
Yeah,
that stuff.
Man, good stuff. In the past, like her character was like real sweet and bubbly and cute and stuff, and then would like flip this evil switch if anybody had hurt like animals or anything, and it
like almost like stuff. Tourette's,
kind of, yeah, like a multiple personality kind of a thing. It was it's good stuff. Really, she, honest to goodness, like deserves it. She's sitting at 400 and something viewers right now. Great stuff. Because honest to goodness, real funny.
67,000 followers. I don't even think I have that many on.
And then I use that as an example of like how you can, if done right, you can use one of those moments to really accelerate and make something big. It's really cool. Is she in chat? I don't think so.
No, we have a Miss Nikita in chat.
That's different.
Supported channel. That's different than Nikita, so I spelled a little differently. Yeah. Pele said, Jerry, what kind of headphones are you using? These are Sony MDR V6s with aftermarket ear pads. The MDR V6s are out of production, so to find a pair, they're like $250, $300. You know, second-hand market. Don't get them for that price. Like they literally, when they were in production, they were like $80.
Bruh, dude, you can get a set of DT770s for like $110. And these are great.
Wait, DT7? You really?
I bought my
way more expensive.
I bought my original pair open box for about 110. I think after shipping and everything, it was like 120.
Oh, wow, yeah. Seriously, brand new, $159. I'll be damned.
Yeah. And
I thought they were a lot more expensive than that, honestly.
From what I understand from the decibel nerds that I know, that it's the best cross of like cost to performance.
Oh, Bear Dynamics, they deliver. Like actually, one of my first like really high end headphones I bought were the MMX 300s, and because Bear Dynamic was aviation headsets.
Oh, nice. There you go.
So it was like their gamer version of an aviation headset. Man, back in the day, they sounded really, really good. I mean, they're not considered like super great today, but they were amazing back then. And I've heard the DT770s. Like I see a lot of people wear those. I thought that they were like $500. I genuinely didn't know that they were that cheap. I will say though, the thing I like about the Sonys and the replacement for these are the MDR, what is it, like MDR 7472 or something like that. And I think they retail for about $80 to $100, and they're just blue instead of red. That's the only difference. They're literally like the same specification. It's just about. But the thing I like about these is the cable. I love this stretchy cable because every time I forget to take the headphones off and I get up and walk away from my desk, I don't like reef the port on stuff. It just stretches out and then it kind of pulls me back a little bit. So this cable and then it like coils up. So as I'm moving around and stuff, it's not getting stuck on my chair. So I love that. The other thing is they're really light and they're super comfortable. They just disappear on your head. Yeah. So that's what I like about it. Is there's no weight to them, and they also fold up.
Very nice.
So. And they're just super, super comfortable, super, super durable. The sound quality, very flat sound. So they can produce bass, but the bass has to be there in the first place. Like they're a very flat and neutral sounding headset, almost like something you'd use for studio monitoring. But they're fantastic for voice feedback because you get a very natural sound. Like as a matter of fact, the sound stage is really good on these. Like when I hear your doors opening in your house, I turn around because I can hear my door opening.
Oh, nice.
Because they're roughly spatially the same position, and this microphone is so good, this NT1, that it picks it up flawlessly. I'd have to like look around and be like, wait, is somebody coming in my door? Like, is this my room? It's really, really good. So these I really like. I'm looking to try out the new headphones from Rode. Have you seen Rode is getting into headphones now? So I already got a Rodecaster Pro. I got a Rode NT1 microphone, which is a fantastic microphone. This is like a professional, well, low end of professional, but it is a professional mic. It's not considered like the NT1 isn't considered like the consumer mic. But
no, that's a good one.
I love the sound of this thing. It's actually mostly used for like picking up instruments because it's so flat. So it's perfect if you want to like EQ your voice because it's such a flat response. You can get it perfectly the way you want it.
Yeah.
But no, I love this microphone. The Rodecaster Pro has been awesome. But now they make headphones, and their headphones, I want to say, are only like $150. They're headphones they came out with, and the specs on them are actually impressive. I haven't heard them yet, but like if they deliver anywhere close to like what their microphones do, like that's got to be a pretty impressive package for the money. Plus, they have a cool feature where you can unplug the cable and plug it into the other ear. So you can switch it side to side. So if you have your setup on this side or this side, you don't have to worry about like your cable crossing over. You can put it on whatever side's convenient for the setup that you're using. And I was like, that's a subtle feature. They should put, and they look really comfortable too. So I don't know. Does anybody have them? Has anybody in here tried the Rode headphones yet? The best headphones I've used so far is the Sennheiser 599s.
I liked my Sennheiser ones, man. I had I forget. I have Game Ones and the PC
360
something something like that.
I have both of those too,
and they're great. Sennheiser's headsets and headphones are tip top, man. I had a set of open back ones that my dog ate, and they were good. I liked them all.
The only thing
is good set
I don't like about, because I have several Sennheiser headphones. The one thing I don't like about the Sennheiser headphones is the bass that they produce is pretty anemic. Like they're not the mids and trebles really good, but especially on the open backs. The closed backs are a lot better, but the open backs you just don't get like that really buttery low bass. And I'm not talking about like the insane. I'm talking about good bass reduction, but like that really low, nice, smooth bass. You just don't get it from those. However, there is a Sennheiser headphone. I haven't even tried yet. What are they? The 600 HD 600s, I think, or 6 something. Those are like the gold standard that like everybody in the audiophile community is like, these are the ones that we use as our reference headphones, but they're kind of expensive. And so I've never gotten a pair. I never even tried them, but I'd love to get a pair of those because everybody says that those things have like really, really smooth bass.
So Kairu's asking about the DT770s, I think it says they come in 32, 80, and 250 ohm, and how does that impact the sound? I have no idea.
It's volume.
I could plug my I have these ones are the 80s. I have 250s as well. I could plug my 250s into a cell phone and they work just fine. And it was great.
So ohm is the resistance of the drivers in the headphone. And what that basically means is how much power you have to push to them to get a certain amount of volume.
Yeah.
But the higher the resistance is, if you push more power to it, you can get cleaner, tighter bass.
Okay.
So like if you have a 250 ohm headphone and you have an amp that can drive that power to it to get the volume out of it, you're going to get a lot more low end, tight, defined bass than you are from the 32 ohm or the 80 ohm. Yeah. So, but the problem is you plug it into your phone and it's going to be like
the 250s were great. I mean, and to be fair, I think that was one of the Note series is like probably by Note 8 or something before they took away the headphone jack, but it worked just fine. Never had any.
On 250 ohm?
Yeah, I'd mow the lawn and stuff and have it and be just fine. It would power them just fine.
That actually surprised me. 250 ohm is a pretty heavy headphone to drive.
That's what I thought. And
I mean, they go up to 600 ohm. I've seen a 600 ohm headphone before. That's like the electrostatic headphones. And I have the HD. Or what is it? The Hi-Fi Man HD 500 electrostatic headphones.
Yeah.
I don't know how many ohms they are, but they take a lot to drive. If you just plug them into a phone, like you'll hear it, but it's just there's no bass.
Yeah.
Like the volume's decent, but there's no bass. But then you plug it into like a dedicated amp or DAC, and it's like, holy crap.
Yeah,
it's like completely different.
I'm no audio nerd, so like I'm not the best. It was a good price, and they're great. I can't hear shit though, man. They're closed, right? I'll be and I won't even have my volume cranked too high. I'll just be playing blah blah blah, watching a show while I'm playing games or something. And my lady will be hollering at me from the living room. I can't hear nothing. She's got to come and get me. So let that be a lesson. Get open back ones if you have people who want your attention.
So my HE 500s are only 38 ohm. Then why the hell are they so quiet on the phone? That's confusing. I'll have to go figure that out because higher ohm is higher resistance, so that should take more power to drive.
Right? You would think.
So, and the 600 ohm headphones require like crazy, like freaking high powered, like Class A amps or whatever to drive them. So that doesn't make any sense. 38 ohm is tiny.
Why did the bot? Oh, sorry about that, Jit. The bot thought you put a link in the chat when you put 3.mm. It thought that was a link. That's why you got timed out. Sorry.
Hey, take it easy, Donnie. Let's see. Are yours the MDR V6s? Yes, they are. That's but you can get the way cheaper ones, and they sound very similar. Let's see here. PC 363D. Yeah, those are the game. I think that's the gamer headset, isn't it?
One of them.
There are also sensitivity. Yeah, but why is it? I swear that this page is wrong because I thought these HE500s had a lot more resistance than that. So sensitivity 89 dB at 1 milliwatt, or was it milliwatt?
Milliamp
or whatever.
I don't know. I'm totally just pulling words out of the air. I don't know.
Planar magnetic. Yeah, because I love those things. They're uncomfortable as shit though. I'll be the first to say, like the old hi-fi man HE, you better be sitting stationary with your head propped up on something because it's like literally wearing a brick over your head. But man, do they sound good. Like one day when we see each other again, like in 10 years, physically in real life, I want you to listen to them, because if you've never heard like planar magnetic headphones before, driven by like an amp, like the open back, it's like, dude, it feels like you're in an auditorium and you can place every instrument. If you close your eyes, it sounds like you're in a huge stadium and you can hear the music coming from where it's supposed to. And not only that, but the bass it hits is like, you don't even know how it's able to reproduce. Like it doesn't even make sense. Like, how the hell is it reproducing this sound so flawlessly? Like if you close your eyes, it literally sounds like the thing is in the room making that noise and you're just hearing it. So they're absolutely, you have to have a really good amp to drive them. But man, it's like once you listen to those, it's like really hard to listen to anything else. But convenience wise, they suck. Because you're basically a wire going into your, into the iPhone, running Amazon Music with HD audio, and then from the DAC it has to run a balanced connector, not even a regular connector. It's a balanced audio connector that goes up to each can independently, and the headset weighs like 3 pounds on your head of just, it's all steel. It's like, Jeez. But it sounds cool. It sounds amazing. So you look past that, but it's not something you'd want to wear for a long time. It'd seriously give you a headache. Hey, Bitchy Poo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Said, hi, guys. Missed you at the beginning of the show, so I'll have to watch it on repeat. That's fine. We don't mind. Okay. Said, Opal as well. Was Aux at PDX land this spring?
I was.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm hoping, I am really, really hoping at some point I'm feeling well enough to go to PDX land, because I missed that. That was like one of my favorite events ever.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see here. Wait, there's ohms and there's also sensitivity. I know, but for some reason I thought these were a lot more. I'll have to look them up. Let's see here. Furthest I've gotten into audiofied territory is throwing a 400-watt subwoofer in my trunk and a new head unit. Now I can't even hear road noise when I play it loud.
There you go.
You know what's crazy though is the craziest audio I ever heard was, of course, it's at Adam's house, right? Yeah. Or Kevlar Condoms. His stereo system sounds amazing, but he has headphones and headphone amps. He has something called a Diablo amp, which is like this really OP, pocket amp that you can get. It's not even a pocket, it's huge. It's like a giant battery pack. And he has these headphones. I can't remember the manufacturer of them, but they basically have the same drivers in them as those $50,000 like Sennheiser Orpheus or whatever. Like, I mean, it has these crazy drivers in it. And he plugged it into the Diablo, and I listened to it, and he put on like the soundtrack. I think it was like the Interstellar soundtrack or something, and it like makes you tear up. Like, it's weird. The sound that it plays it like resonates and makes your whole body get like that warm sensation with like the hairs rising on the back of your neck, because it sounds like you're like at the opera. Like it's that, like the sound is that present, and it's hard to explain, but it's like you just don't hear anything like that in real life. It's like it's very bizarre. It's like when you listen to it, you're like, holy crap, audio in real, it's weird. Audio in real life doesn't even sound that good. Like a dude sitting in front of you playing a guitar for some reason doesn't even sound as good as it did through those. But they're incredibly heavy. They're like, I want to say they're like $8,000 headphones, not including the amplifier. So you're probably 10 grand in once you have the amp. And my HE500s probably get you about 80% of the way there. So, but then you take off like the HE800s, and then you put on like these Sonys that even sound like fantastic normally. But after you've listened to those, you put these on and you're like, oh my God, this sucks. This is terrible. Like, I don't want to listen to this anymore. But just like anything else, you get used to it. Like, I'm a big fan of blissful ignorance. It's like when I get in my Subaru STI and I'm just railing it through gears and stuff, I'm like, man, this is so fast. And then I go get in like a Tesla, and then I get back in my car and I'm like, my God, this is slower than crap, Yeah. But then you just, over time, you start to get used to it again, and you start to appreciate it again for what it is. Same thing like when I went to PDX land, I'd always borrow a monitor, and it'd always be like 144 hertz. But all my monitors at the time at home were 60 hertz. So I'd go to PDX land and I'd play on these like 144 hertz screens and be like, man, this looks so good. And then I go home and start playing. I'd be like, oh man, this looks like a flip book animation. Like, even 60 hertz didn't seem smooth at all anymore. It took me like a week to get back my brain back to where it's like, oh, this looks good, this is presentable. So I'm a big fan of blissful ignorance. It's like, be careful when you try stuff, because if you try something that's that much better than like what you have access to, then your brain is like, oh, but I want the other thing. But until you try it, it's like your thing is still the best you've ever heard. So as far as your brain's concerned, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So don't push that bar artificially, because it ends up coming back and smacking you in the ass like every single time. It's why cars have like 1,500 horsepower now. It's like you can go buy a car. Like if you have enough money, you can just go buy a car that has like 1,500 horsepower, like a Bugatti Chiron, right? You can go like now you can go buy like a $25,000 like Hyundai that has like 350 horsepower, you know, or the Kia Stinger that's like, I want to say those are only like 30-some thousand, 400 plus horsepower rear wheel drive. It's funny because it's like you just go back even like 15 years. You know, like my Subaru STI was one of 3 cars under $100,000 that had over 300 horsepower stock. Jeez. And now 300 horsepower is like nothing. It's like you can go buy minivans with 300 horsepower. You can go buy little grocery getters with 300 horsepower. Jeez. And so it's just that, and that's the thing. It's just people got used to that generation of cars. So they got faster and faster and faster and faster. And now people are just like, oh, hey, now we got traction control and all this stuff. So we'll go to the track and lay down a 7-second quarter mile in my car I just bought, you know, off the showroom floor. So same thing with like audio, same thing with everything, computers, graphics cards. It's like when you're playing VR, you're like, man, this looks really good. And then you go put on like a Pimax headset or something like that that has like 200-degree field of view and 5K per eye, ran with like dual 390s and NV link. And you're like, man, this looks amazing. Then you go home, you put on like your Oculus and you're like, oh God, this is garbage. This is hot garbage. But before that, you were like, oh man, this is amazing. I love this. So I love blissful ignorance. It's a good thing. Don't fight it, man.
Velocir N, yeah, that too.
So GPU is getting cheaper, bro.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I'm and like for reals this time. It seems to be we're leveling out. I don't know. I mean, I've been seeing. I get the notifications every once in a while, like, oh, Bitcoin is down 3% over the last 8 hours or whatever. Yeah. So, but yes, it is. It's super cool. I think. I mean, we're just getting back to normal. It took a little while, but that's good. I think it's great. I was seeing like actual MSRP lower end cards. I mean, quote lower end, but whatever.
Looks like the higher end cards are still up there though.
Yeah. But I mean, they're expensive. They were expensive to start. Their MSRP is already expensive.
Well, what was the MSRP on like a 3080 Ti?
I want to say 1,600.
No, really?
Someone might have to
like
correct
3090.
No, 3090s were supposed to MSRP at 2,000.
Oh, then the prices, yeah, you're right. The prices have come down because I'm looking at Best Buy right now. They got them in stock for like 1,400.
That's another thing.
1,300, 1,200 for like a Founders Edition.
People were getting all bent out of shape when they said that the 3090 was going to come out at 2,000, and oh, that's so expensive. Blah 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 blah. I think people missed the boat on the fact that the 3090 is a Titan.
Yeah, it's a professional card.
It's a Titan card. Yeah. It's a Titan card. They scrubbed out the RTX Titan brand or whatever model, the SKU for the RTX Titan. And it's a 3090 now. Like, and go back, rewind the clock. All of the Titans have always been significantly more expensive, but significantly less expensive than the cheapest Quadro. So like, get over it. It's perfectly reasonable price for a Titan.
Plus, it's got 24 gig of RAM too, which is
that's what I'm saying.
That's nutso, dude.
Jump up to an A4000 and then complain. That's a $5,000 card or something.
So the 3090 Founders Edition is sold out on Best Buy for like 1,500, but in stock right now they have the 3090. Wait, there's a 3090 Ti?
Yeah,
jeez,
it's not that great. More power for like 5% better improve.
Dude, it's like $500 more too.
Yeah, and it takes like an extra, I want to say it's like an extra 100 watts, and you're getting maybe 5% performance increase. It's not, I cannot in good conscience recommend anyone buy the 3090 Ti.
$500 more. Holy crap, dude. So it looks like that's the only card it's ironically, that's the only card they have in stock for like the 3090s, everything else, but like nobody wants to buy it because it's a shitty deal. That's a good sign though, because if it was still a scalper's market, people would still be selling those for like $3,000.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I think EVGA. Let's see products.
So 3070s going for, because that's a card that's not really good for mining, but it's like plenty performance for gaming. Let's see, 3070.
I mean,
Okay, that's not bad. $779 in stock.
I can right now buy a 3080, an EVGA 3080 Ti XC3 Ultra Hydro Copper Gaming, $1429. Totally reasonable.
Oh, and that's the liquid cooled card with the.
It's just the block. That one doesn't have the AIO thing. The AIO one, the hybrid,
Yeah,
same price.
Jeez. Okay,
That's,
so we're out
to
of
me.
that
To me,
crazy
that's
scalper.
totally. Well, it's out of the hybrid one's out of stock, but.
Let me look on eBay and see what they're going for right now. So what were you with the 3080 Ti? Is that what it was? Okay,
yeah.
so 3080 Ti.
You can get their regular
auctions.
Their FTW3 Ultra one, $12.99. That to me is right in line with what they ought to be.
Yeah, I'm looking to right now. Yeah, 3080 Ti, $1,299 just sold today.
Yeah,
and that was for a For the Win 3 card too, which is like better than the regular one, right? The Founders Edition.
Yeah, it's a little boost on the clock.
Okay, so just factory overclock.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Dell Alienware RTX 3080 Ti. Wait, Dell Alienware makes a freaking GPU. $1,350.
I doubt they're making it. It's probably
it's rebranded for sure.
It's, Power Color or something.
So yeah, these are selling. So yeah, 3080 Ti For the Wins are selling for like $1,149. One just sold for today.
Nice.
So yeah,
oh damn, man!
So
you got a 3090 for $1,400, Nikita. That's great. 6900 XT on sale for MSRP. Yeah, no doubt. We're good.
You go back. Let me go back like a couple of weeks here on eBay. Yeah, they're going up. Like as I'm scrolling down, so again, $1,900. Let's see, go for it.
And I don't know if it's just that they're producing enough now, or if it's because like mining is falling down, or it's probably a combination. Shipping and stuff is catching up, and
so when crypto crashes, usually what happens is all the miners take that opportunity to sell off all their secondhand cards while they still have value.
Yeah,
and so they flood the market with those, and then they're not buying the new cards yet.
Whatever happened to Nvidia increasing production of the 20 series cards to kind of make up for it? I didn't notice or feel any difference.
I never felt like that happened.
Yeah, I remember they said they were gonna, but I don't know.
Dude, a 3080 Ti sold on April 12th for $929, brand new.
Wow.
For a ROG Strix card.
Really?
Shit, yeah, no, sold. Yeah,
for
sold
under $1,000,
brand new, under $1,000. I'm trying to go back in time because there's some that are selling shit. There's one sold for $2,500. Like the further you go back, like it looks like there's you get to see what the scalping was like, right?
Right.
So the Founders Edition, $1,529 for a 3080 Ti. This was the beginning of April.
Right.
So I'm trying to go back. I wish it would let me go back more than like 10 pages at a time. I want to go back and look at like. Oh wait, can I change the page in the header? Hold on, here we go. Page number 17. I'm gonna just change that like page number 200. Because there's a lot of GPUs for sale on eBay right now. Hey, it's loading and unable to show more than 10,000 results. What? I was trying to do that. But no, I could have swore that I saw links on eBay just like months ago that were like $3,000 for a 30.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
And people were paying it. Like people were actually paying it and they were selling completed.
Yep.
So March 17th, a 3080 Ti was going for $1,700. $1,900 for the Strix. This was in March. So yeah, they are coming down like couple $100 in just a month. So yeah, if you're buying a GPU, it might be a good time to grab one because they're in. It looks like a ton of them are in stock too. Like you can find them now.
Yeah, like Best Buy and stuff. They're. I mean, some of the higher ones might be. You might have to be a little quick on the draw, but you're not having to be, botting to buy them.
You know what's weird is I'm looking through eBay March 7th. Okay, every once in a while I'm scrolling through and it's like 1,600, 1,700. There's a EVGA GeForce RTX 3080 Ti For the Win 3 Ultra Gaming 12 gigabyte GDDR6 graphics card sold for $799.
Wow.
Like,
is it broken?
Is this a scam? It's just brand new in box.
Wow.
I clicked on it and said we looked everywhere. This is not available. It probably got deleted. I bet you it was a scammer who was like just selling the box or something and lying about it.
Yeah.
Remember when people were doing that? Like they just put the description like this was the box only.
I had planned to do that with the 3090 to see if some bots would buy it off of eBay, and I just never got around to it.
I bet you it was. I bet you it was botted.
Yeah.
That was funny when people were doing that. Oh my gosh, dude. Let's see. Well, I think we nailed our topics, bro.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we did it.
Yeah.
You want to start wrapping up?
Sure.
You want to pimp your sponsor?
Yeah, everybody go check out ShannLScott.com. Go check out her stories. They're good. They're good stories. Go check it out. She's been on
here before. She get a kick out of it too. She absolutely loves it when even just click on the website and just check it out. She likes seeing the traffic go up.
What do you think about 6900 XT? I worry about the drive. Everybody complains about AMD drivers. I don't know what the deal is. I don't have any personal experience, but like, come on, really?
Damn, I wish I had sold my graphics card. I still got these guys, dude. Look at this sitting on my desk. I should have sold my 2080 Ti.
How much are 2080 Ti worth? Probably like $800. I'm totally just guessing.
I still have a Titan XP somewhere.
That's 1080 Ti equivalent. Oh, hey, I was right. Yeah. People have them listed for 720, 800. Let's see, sold here on eBay is not the best. You gotta, if you're trying to sell local, you'll probably get a little less than what you would on
2080s are still selling for like upwards of 800.
Let's see. There's a Strix 2080 Ti just sold today for 690. Another Strix one sold today for 810.
So what is it about the 2 series cards that are holding their value so well? That's kind of weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't know. 690, 650, 590, 397 for the that one's broken. Dude, you wouldn't believe this. I got I made a couple $100 off of a broken 2080 Ti. But I sold it on eBay. I think I made $300, I think.
I sold during the height of the scalping. I had a guy locally who was he was doing 3D rendering, and so he needed GPUs for his rendering farm, and so I sold him a pair of 28. Were they 2080s? I want to say they were 2080s. I think it was a pair of 2080s that I had, because back then they supported NVLink, right? It was the two I had. Okay, so I sold him a pair of 2080s for, I want to say, $1,700, and that was at the time it was like 400 or 500 less than what they were on eBay, because he was somebody I knew, and I knew he was using them for this. I knew he wasn't getting them to mine, so I gave him a deal on it, and then he came back like a week later and bought it was like an inbox AMD 1650 something. It was not a very powerful card, but he ended up buying that off me, I think, for like $500, and it was a card that like retailed, I want to say, for like 200 when it came out. Nice. And he was like super happy. He was like, oh my god, thank you, you're saving my ass, dude. Like, I can't find anything right now online that isn't like insanely expensive. And I was like, dude, no, this is like sitting on my shelf and I'm not using it right now, so I might as well liquidate it while I can.
Yeah. Cool.
I am me just gave us another $20 super chat. Dude, you are a legend. Thank you
very much.
Absolute legend. Said, thank you for the stream today, Barn and Ox. You were very welcome. It's good to be back.
Hang on.
Now I just gotta go try to get my ass outside to clean on that car some more today, because
I think I gotta do the same.
I want to get it nice and clean because I got to take it to my nephew to get the clutch replaced. Yeah. And I didn't want to take it to him with like the inside smell like mold and there being like moss on everything. I wanted to be nice and clean for him to work on. So
yeah, that's nice.
Plus, if all goes according to plan, we'll videotape it too, because it'll be kind of cool to be like, oh, hey, we're changing the clutch in my car I've had since 2007. It'll be the second clutch I think I've put in it since I've owned it. So it should be interesting. All right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with us today on Tech Talk. It was absolutely amazing to be back, and huge thank you to the people that super chatted, because that keeps us going, especially since Twitch is trying to rob us blind.
Twitch, man.
Everything is just, it's one of those things where I think businesses are starting to realize that the market is like flooded with content creators, and so they can just, the demand is down, so they can just keep, charging more and more and more, or not charging, but taking more and more and more. Yeah. But it is what it is. We deal with it and we move forward.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. That's the saying of the day. All right, if you guys don't follow us over on Twitter, give us a follow over there before Elon buys the platform and bans us both for having a beard and being fat or something. I don't know, but I don't think that'll happen. But we will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat place, 11 a.m. Pacific. Dude, did you just tongue kiss your dog?
No, she licked
That
my
was
nose.
hot, man. Do it again.
Oh, that's gross. Give me a kiss.
Oh my gosh, that tongue. Jesus. That's how you get the crumbs out of your beard. Now I know why your beard is always so clean. So we will see you guys again next week. If you want to see us during the week when we're doing our own individual things, we're over on that platform trying to rip everybody else called Twitch TV. And again, Twitter is I think that's still both of our most active social network, right? Is Twitter.
Yep, Twitter.
Just follow there. All the links are down in the video description. Tell your friends, tell your aunts,
Your bridge club,
boyfriends, like cousins, friends, daughter, or whatever. Just tell everybody you know, because we need your attention.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Okay,
Peace
bye.
out.